What is going on, everybody? Welcome to the Don't Unfriend Me show. Friday, Red Friday. Kind of exciting. Always wear red on Friday to remember the troops. Looks like you're wearing a V-neck with that microphone. Looks like it's cutting into your shirt a little bit. Nope. Gonna have a good night tonight. We're talking about Governor Glenn Youngkin takes a lap on his achievements as governor. Get out of here. Thank you, Kat. RFK on gain-of-function research. Senator John Kennedy laughs. Some of his greatest moments. Stock market climbs. Slur mom gets rich. This one's going to be a little sensitive. Some language, some racist language was projected at a 5-year-old kid. This time it's a mom doing it, not a middle schooler. Woke left, woke right, a wonderful comparison that I've been talking about with Candace Owens, and I'm going to go ahead and show you, draw the lines of delineation into the woke left and woke right so you can understand what this means and why they sound so similar. Tucker finally takes off his mask, shows what we've all known for quite some time. DEA Huge Busts, a lot of fentanyl going down. That's a good thing. And then overtime, if we hit goal early and quickly, Hologram, 60 minutes, Emmy, and an R3 update. Folks, do me a favor. Please share this on Twitter across the nation. Let's get it going. See you in 3 minutes.
It's Red Friday, RED Friday, which stands for Remember Everyone Deployed. A movement designed to honor veterans and deployed U.S. troops by wearing a red shirt every Friday. As simple as that may be, Red Friday is a great way to back those who serve our country. Go to dumbshow.com and search for Red Friday to get your red on.
Hey guys. Barry Morgenstein, America's headshot photographer, coming to you from my New York City studio. Great friend of the Dumb Show. It is now time to put down the camera because it's almost 7 p.m. and I'm gonna watch the coolest, the most real and raw show on the internet. It's on every night, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time with the coolest guys, Matt, Olivia, Leroy, and Amy. You guys have to tune in to see it. It's gonna be something incredible every night. Check it out.
The Dumb Show, May 16th, 2025, 6 p.m. to 11 p.m. One goal, one night, one chance. Chris Peranto, Laura Logan, Roseanne Barr, Jason Shepard, T.S. Dixon, Damani Felder, Barry Morgenstein, Ryan Samuels, Lisa Regina. One night only. The race to 20K is on. Be part of it.
Adjusting transmitter output.
This is the Don't Unfriend Me Show with your hosts, Matt, Leroy, Amy, and Olivia. Geopolitics, military analysis, and election coverage. Coming to you live on all major social media channels at The Dumb Show. Honest, direct, unfiltered. We can agree, we can disagree. Just don't unfriend me.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Don't Unfriend Me Show. Matthew Spear, and who the hell are you, lady?
You know, I'm Olivia Spear. That's who I am.
It's great. It looks like you got confused for a second.
No, I was trying to think of something smart ass.
Don't sit up so straight, will you? Because you're looking way too tall, and you're not that tall. You're making me look short. Well, no, just lower your chair or something. Why are you so up?
I don't know. I can't lower my chair anymore. I lowered it one time, and if I lower it anymore, I'm not going to be able to reach be like this at the keyboard.
Okay.
There you go.
So
you just
leave it like that.
Just no one can be taller than you.
No, it's not that. It's just that I look like I'm 5'1", and you're 5'1", and I'm not. I'm 6'4", and damn it, we should have that be accurate. What is wrong with your thing? Oh, that's why. Nope, that ain't it. So weird. I don't know what's going on. Huh.
Weird.
I mean, I guess I can just do this the whole frickin' show. My gosh. All right, well, I'll just zoom in. God, of course. Always have to accommodate Olivia Spear.
Always.
What's new? Here, there we go. There, I'm much taller than you now. How about this? Is that better?
Works great.
My name Larch. Me like Red Friday. Okay, welcome to the Don't Unfriend Me Show. You gonna tell your story? You got a story to tell, so tell your story. This is a great story.
Well, first off, before we do start the story, I do want to wish Mr. and Mrs. St. Vincent, Mama Judy, and Brad Sr. a happy 35th wedding anniversary.
Happy 35 years. Wow.
Yes.
I don't know if we're going to make that, but I'm glad you all
close. Did. We've been together 26 years.
Yeah, that seems like a lifetime away.
So.
It's honestly, you know what? A lot of people do that. Oh, it went so fast. You know what? It didn't. It's beautiful, and it had its ups and its downs, and it's not like, we're dying tomorrow. It's not like we're going to notebook it tonight, but I thought it was awesome. So let's hope the next 26 years goes as slow and painfully as the first 26. You know what I mean?
Yep.
I think I've got at least 26 years on the planet, hopefully. You
should.
That would put
unless your children drive you up the wall.
Right. Well, 51, right?
Yes, you're 51.
So that would be 77.
Yeah. I
think I got that down, especially if I keep working out and taking care of my body.
Yes, I think you do too.
Okay. We're going to have a good show tonight. We got a lot to talk about.
All right. So our story. So,
yeah.
Okay.
Don't we have a birthday?
Yes. That's actually next week, but yes.
Okay. I'm just making sure we don't screw this up and miss it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, good. All right, go ahead. Tell your story.
Make sure. Just making sure.
Yeah, because if it's anything like the AC vent.
That's.
Just saying. Is the studio room?
It is on Sunday.
Right, so we should do it now.
Yes.
So, did you see what happened?
Yes. Is she on?
No, look at her picture. What happened?
I have no idea. Oh. Uh-oh.
Yep.
That's not good.
No, it's an easy fix. I just didn't know about it. But I put in that motion detector, and
it shuts itself off.
Well, I can fix that, but I'm not going to do that in the middle of the show because that would just suck. So I'm just going to turn it off so it doesn't go on and off. But it's amazing how much different the room looks without the backlighting. It's ridiculous. Like,
yeah,
a lot of people, backlighting is one of the most important things you can do in your shoot. Anyway, okay, so somebody asked a question. They said, is the studio room cool enough for the computer? This room's cool enough for the computer. But Olivia's got a story to tell you.
So, the story. So, yesterday morning, very, very eventful, like 7 o'clock. So it's not that much. Oh my gosh, cat.
Oh my God. Donate now, please. Because I'm telling you, nice. Wow.
Did it mess up the camera or anything?
No, but your boobs looked huge.
Oh.
So donate early because I have a feeling the show's it's going to crash.
Yes.
Something's going to happen tonight because Olivia is on a tear. So
Okay.
this is what
that
happened.
was the cat, not me. I didn't push anything down.
What was it? Your phone that hit the floor?
No, it wasn't. I don't know. My phone's right here. She knocked something down. It was probably Ethan's headphones.
Do you think we should check and find out what it was in case it was important?
It was the iPad.
Oh yeah, only $1,000 iPad. That makes sense. Okay, are you ready? All right, so tell your story now without knocking anything else over.
That was the cat. So.
Yeah, so is the vent. Go ahead. Tell your story.
Thanks, dear.
Get it out. Let's go. Do it. Do it now.
Yesterday morning at like 7 o'clock, our house alarm goes off.
2 days ago. Just say 2 days. It's easier.
Whatever.
It adds to the story.
Okay. So it goes off, and it goes off occasionally. So, of course, we're looking through to make sure. And it's the garage entry door, which means somebody didn't latch the garage door because Yenny's litter box is in the garage, which means she hit the door on the way in or out and opened the door.
Was it nighttime or morning?
It was morning. It was like 7 o'clock.
Then it can't be 2 days ago.
It was yesterday morning.
How?
I don't know, but it was yesterday morning.
Can't be.
Yeah.
No, we woke up and we woke up. And was it before work?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, it was before work.
Okay,
it was yesterday morning. So we're like, okay, great. So we shut off the alarm. Everything's good. And all of a sudden, the fire alarm goes off and sets off the entire house.
Right. So like I didn't even go get my gun. But once the fire alarm went off, I'm like, okay, something's weird.
And the kids know because Ethan was immediately out of his room. Hayden's calling me, what? That's the fire alarm. And we're like, oh my gosh. And Matt looks at me and goes, I had a dream that there was a fire in the house last night.
So true. It wasn't in the house. It was a forest fire. And I looked out on the patio, and to our left, the entire wall of fire, and to our right was a wall of fire. That was the dream. And that wasn't a very good dream. So once we say that, we're like, oh my God.
Oh my gosh. We start looking around. We go through the whole house. Don't smell anything. Don't see anything. Everything's good to go. Last night.
Of course, I'm thinking the computer or something, because of the AC vent fiasco where Olivia closed the AC vent and it got so darn hot in here was the only conclusion, but it would never cool down. And it was like where I'm sitting, like 86 degrees, and we couldn't understand why.
Yeah. And it was still really hot. And last night, couldn't figure it out.
So I walk out of the room from last night's show, and I am literally like if you spray painted me brown and threw some sesame seeds on me, I would be a Somalian quarter pounder.
Yeah. But I've been sitting underneath the fan cross stitching the whole night. So I've got a ceiling fan on me. I don't know.
And we all know how taxing cross stitching can be. So and that kept her cool.
Yes.
During the process. So I walk out, and the first thing is, why is it so effing hot in this house? And everybody's like, it's not hot at all.
Yeah. We don't run as hot as you, but.
That's true.
Yeah. So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to go check the outside AC. The AC unit is not running. Upstairs is running. The main level is not running. So we're like, great. That means we've been pumping in humid air hot humid air for the last 2 days. Awesome.
And don't forget the window.
And and our housekeepers, some house, when they came a couple weeks ago, I guess our windows flop open so you can clean them without having to go on the outside of the house. And they must have hit it, and it's been open. So now
so that's been pumping 85. But we
open.
have plantation shield shutters, and you can't see, and that's been pumping in 80, 90 degree weather all day. So all of these things accumulated.
Yeah. So I call several AC companies, HVAC companies last night, get a couple back this morning. I make like 4 appointments because I'm like, whoever gets here first gets the appointment because I'm like, I want to get this fixed. So the guy shows up at like 10 o'clock, which is really nice, maybe early, maybe 9:30. And turns out that our AC unit caught on fire. We had no idea. And what happened is the reason our fire alarm went off is a little bit of smoke may have came into the house, but as soon as that fire alarm goes off, it shuts off our HVAC. So nothing else came into the house. And it was just the wiring inside the unit. So when the wiring was done burning, there was no other fuel in there. So it just put itself out.
Amber C. Ground says, housekeeper? Question mark.
Every 3 months we get a cleaning crew in here to help me with the cleaning. And so help me, so. That's about it. It's just
it's not like we have Alice living with us.
No,
Amber just flies in. She drops a little frickin' poison and then just poof.
Yeah.
We don't have a live-in maid, Amber. No. Every quarter we have somebody who comes in and helps us do deep cleaning.
Since I work full time and then I do this show, so technically I have 2 jobs.
Yeah, so you got to be really careful what you say because there's some real sensitive people here who think that we're Mr. and Mrs. Posh, but no, folks. Once a quarter they come in and help do deep cleaning and
So we are extremely lucky. And ironically, about 2 weeks ago, we're like, we should look at our homeowner's insurance. It's been 5.5 years since we bought the house. We've upgraded a lot of stuff. Want to make sure we're covered. We ended up upping the amount of our belongings inside. So that went up. Not the actual house because it's covered enough.
What are we talking about?
Homeowners insurance. How a couple weeks we're like, hey, let's up it.
That's not important to the why are you telling people about our personal homeowners insurance? Now people are going to be like, oh my God, they got homeowners insurance. They must really be rich. So it comes down to this. The guy comes out and he pulls off the panel. And what happened is one of the cables that carries the hot lead melted completely and caught on fire and it lit a couple of the other ones on fire. It's a fairly new AC unit, but he says that this happens once in a while, and they had to replace the unit and take care of it. So, we're not going to get a housekeeper. We had to fire our housekeeper, because we don't have any money. So we have a team of housekeepers, and the butler, they just constantly complain. And then, the serfs that we have in the backyard, and we're in Virginia, so we have a few slaves that we own too.
Oh my gosh.
So, we just keep them on the payroll because we just have money to burn. We just usually sneeze in 100s and wipe our asses with 20s. So, we have a housekeeper.
It's usually they come in for my birthday, for Mother's Day, because it's usually what I treat myself with, so I don't have to clean that weekend.
Well, yeah, it's too big of a Oh no, Karen, no, it's a luxury. Anything that we spend money on is a luxury. So, but no, it's a lot to undertake. And honestly, if we could downsize and move into something smaller, I would. I hate the size, and I hate the fact that you got to keep up with it. But yeah, we have our children, and they do a lot. But if we left it up to our kids we get behind. You know what I mean? So it's like, I think about the 90-day mark. You get to first 60 days, we're solid. You get the sweeping done, get the dusting done, get the mopping done, kitchen's done, But then at around day 81, you're just kind of like, yeah, we might want to call and have them come in and just do a quick run through in the entire house and hit everything. So anyway, the point is we got the AC fixed. It wound up being money, and that's never a good day for me. But either way, interesting. Amber
we didn't have to replace the whole unit.
Does it seem like Amber Grounds just comes in now, gets offended, and then leaves?
I have no idea.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's kind of weird. She seems to do that a lot. Housekeeper. Oh my God, these people they must be liberals. I'm still in a mood. Might have to go chill. Melanie, don't go chill. Stay here. Michael Wismer says we had a housekeeper / nurse from my wife's mom, and things ended up missing. Yeah. I'm not a big person who trusts others to come into the house and do things. You know what I mean? And honestly, they didn't do a very good job this time.
It's new girls, and I don't know.
They kind of sucked. Way back when I was 16, I used to clean a local grocery store owner's house. Oh, that's cool. Brian says when it was installed, they probably used a wire nut to tie the leads together so they separate enough over time and start arcing, and it burns the wires up. Yeah, I think that's what happened too when I look at it. Do you mention your chambermaid and body servant? No, I have a personal ball washer. So she just comes in and she, and shines those things up real pretty like the King and I, Yul Brynner's head, and got 2 of those things. It's beautiful. Matt, seriously, I'm in a mood. I got kicked out of Costco. Why did you get kicked out of Costco, Melanie? What did you do? This is a Friday night. We get to just take our time. And I'm an electrician. I've seen it happen many times. Yeah, that's what happened. Why'd you get kicked out of Costco? Melanie, call in.
That I want to know why I got kicked out of Costco.
Yeah, don't call in for stupid stuff like you do. Call in for the real stuff.
That sounds like a fun story to tell.
Call in for the But my chambermaid, and then we have a dumbwaiter too. So
We also have an elevator in the house.
That's what a dumbwaiter is.
Oh, okay.
Seriously.
Well,
We have you got to call it a service elevator for the help.
oh, that's right.
So,
we have servants'
We have
quarters.
a few black people and Mexicans, and we just don't want to intermix with them. So we kind of have them take their own service elevator on the property, because we're so, white elitist plantation owners. I bathed my foster dog today and washed my hair. I'm exhausted. It's just great sharing day. Everyone's just getting in the action. Now you got me pricing someone to spring clean for me. You see what I'm saying? That's what we do. Every quarter, somebody comes in and just does the spring cleaning because it's too much. It's too much. And it's just...
But I couldn't even keep up with it when I was a stay-at-home mom and then only worked part-time. But now that... Here, Ash.
Come on, baby.
Come here. I think she's stuck. She can't get it open.
There's no way.
Come on.
Come here, honey. Come here, sweetheart.
You are the smartest dog, but seriously.
Do you want to go get her?
Push on the door.
Come on, baby. Push on the door.
She's pushing on the wrong door.
Other door, Ash.
She's pushing on the one that's
Holy
closed.
shit. I have a retarded dog. My dog is a Jerry's dog. Come on, baby. Hello, my beautiful. It's all about your good looks, just like your mommy. Hey, baby. Good to see you. All right, so I love cleaning house. It's too much. It's too much.
Especially with teenage children.
No answer. Oh, shit, I forgot to turn it on. Okay, all right, hold on. Okay, it's on now. Call. Pardon me, would you happen to have any Grey Poupon? That's right. Cleaning is a great cash for teen girls and friends. Yeah, it is. Yeah, you should price somebody for spring cleaning. And it's like $150 or something. It's so worth it. A dumb waiter is in the wall to deliver food from the kitchen to other floors. Geesh, man, it's still an elevator. It elevates with an action. So it's still an elevator. We didn't say about the size. Don't give me any shit, Debbie. Don't give me any shit about the red zone, Debbie. It's going to be a contentious night, I think. So Amber,
Yeah,
this is
it's
what
gonna be fun.
Amber just brings toxicity into the show now. She used to be so positive and happy. Mel, still waiting for Hayden to come and wash my dishes. My dog is a Democrat. He wants free food, free health care. I don't have a job and hates when I handle my guns. That's wonderful. It only hurts when you fall off. All right, we're waiting, Melanie. Waiting for your phone call to tell us, and then we can get started. Bobby Richardson, thank you so much. I think we have a couple more in there, honey. Drop them.
We do. Just do them now?
Just hammer them. Yeah, get them out. Let's take goal early so we can abandon everybody and just use our money to pay for our service help. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like, let's just get our car payment done and, have some FU money that we can go out and just burn,
We do need to have a bonfire. Let's just go take our extra cash. And
Sure, we
use
just
that
burn
for
it.
wood.
Just burn our
Yep.
cash. Yeah,
Let's
I love
just burn
that.
the cash.
Vicky RN says, I paid $150. Whoa, Amy Bordeaux, $10.80. Vicky says, I paid $150 an hour. I'm moving, so I need the help. Vicky, I would come over and help you if you're in Virginia. Seriously, that's ridiculous. I wish I had an elevator. I'm constantly wanting things that are upstairs when I'm downstairs and vice versa. Well, we also have our automatic Google robot, and Elon Musk's robot, he let us have it because, we're good friends because we have all that money together that we waste on maids. So he provided us an artificial intelligence robot. So we just tell Schmedley, that's what I call him, Schmedley, because any good waiter should be called Schmedley. He came as a white waiter, but we painted him black because we're racist too, because we're from the South. God. And we told Schmedley to go down and get us whatever we want, and he comes and brings it back up. It's
Melanie tried. It says no one's available. You see the phone number at the bottom? Was it 276?
276-200-2105. Hey, Thomas Austin, $51.99. Thank you so much. Guadalupe and Juanita are going to be so happy that you donated us some money, so we can give them some money. Guess what?
My gosh.
Hey, everybody, enchiladas are on the menu. No more eating rice and beans alone. Looks like we got a little extra cash to burn on our help. So,
Oh my goodness.
Joanne Townsend, $8. Thank you, everybody. We really appreciate
One
it.
of those nights.
I'm gonna make it one of those nights. I don't like the implication. I'm not stupid. I know what was being said. Come on, give me a break.
While we are waiting, I got a couple of other announcements. Don't forget, if you have questions for the May 16th show for any of our special guests, email them to olivia@thedumbshow.com. Make sure you specify which guest it is to, so I know.
Right.
And please, if you could, have them in no later than the evening of the 15th, so I can take that morning and kind of go through everything.
If you can, we'd appreciate it.
The other thing, one other thing, is if you want to mail in a donation for the big show, please mail it in no later than the 13th which is Tuesday.
If you want it counted.
If you want it counted, that way it's here for the show. If you mail it in earlier, just make a notation that you want it for the big show. That way we don't put it in a different night and just
and if you no longer want to give it to us because of our yacht and our Learjet and our G6 that we have, we understand completely. We'll find the money somewhere else, I'm sure.
Thomas Austin says, if you want something from upstairs, you do have children. Do you have children, Thomas? Because seriously,
they don't listen to us.
Getting them to answer us. I mean, I will leave piles by the stairs and go, when you go upstairs, please grab your stuff.
Yep.
And it's still there. Nope.
Debbie says, can we see you in your maid uniform, Matt? You can see me out of it. Tamar says, I'm too freaking old and tired to keep up. Tamar, it's great to have you here on an evening show. Usually you watch the reruns, and I watch you comment all the time, and it's hilarious. I'm always watching in the morning because I'm usually on Facebook when you're watching, so I always see you comment on the show. And usually my maid is scrubbing my feet and giving me a pedicure at the time. So I have a personal cosmetologist at the house too, who massages my face, puts cucumbers on my face and different types of aloes and yogurt.
Our personal masseuse. That's right. I do need to let him know I need a massage.
And I'm in the tanning bed from
phone still rings and says it's unavailable. All right, we're gonna try this.
You were supposed to fix this.
We did fix it, and it worked.
You were supposed to fix this.
It worked. We need Melanie or Mel to call in because she's the one who always calls in, and it works for her. 276.
This should be working just fine.
200-2105, right?
Yes. I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. Hold on. Hey, Domingo, what's our phone number? Por favor. He'll get back to me. He'll let me know. Let's see. No one available. Light the Benjamins on fire. Melanie is going to get arrested trying to call in. Good Lord, Matt. Listen, I don't screw around. When I take things personal, I beat it like a dead horse.
Yeah, they're right. It's not doing anything. It's just ringing.
So what are you going to do about that?
Do I have to get off show and figure this out again?
I don't know, because you said it worked.
It did. Mel called in a night ago, 2 nights ago on Wednesday, and it's worked.
Yeah.
And we got it. I fixed it 2 weeks ago, so it's not me.
All right. Let me try to reset this. I mean, since this show is completely off schedule already.
Oh, totally. And we're gonna go late anyway, so
I'm gonna reset it and try.
By the way, the Avs won last night.
Yeah. It was a crazy game. Matt.
Yes.
Okay. Let's see. Consuela cooks enchiladas. She does. Never married and no children. Oh, you should try to get some of those. I have kids.
That's why you told us to tell our children to bring something, because that'll never happen.
Loretta says, I'll be sending a donation at some point before the big show by snail mail. Thank you, Loretta. We appreciate it.
It just rings. Mel's trying. It just rings. So she always calls in. So
this is so weird.
I do.
That's weird, because I had this thing. It's on Microsoft Teams, right? Or was it Skype? Oh.
What'd you do?
It was Zoom, right? It wasn't Microsoft Teams. Was it? No, wait. Was it Teams?
No, I think it's Zoom.
Somebody call again. Try now. No. Brian Atkinson tried. Okay, yes, it is. Yep. Okay, it's not Teams. I got rid of Teams. My name's Matthew. Usually my freaking butler does this.
Do you have something you'd like to say to me?
No, you fucked up the AC.
No, you're going to say you're sorry because I didn't do this. It wasn't me.
Okay, I got Bordeaux calling and I've got Marino calling. So, all right. Melanie, can you hear me? Oh, my God. Melanie, can you hear me?
It's Teams. It's Mel.
Okay, Mel, you're good. All right, why is everyone calling? Hold on a second.
I think they were all trying for us.
And then accept. Okay, Melanie, are you there?
I'm here.
Hey, kid. All right,
Finally,
so
yay.
finally, all right, and then we had Amy trying to get in and somebody else. I'm sorry. We were trying to tell our servant staff what their schedules were tomorrow, so it got a little complicated, but it's working now. So, Melanie, tell us your story. Why the hell did you get kicked out of Costco?
Well, you know how they have in the middle of Costco, they have all the clothes set on tables, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm sitting there and I'm holding on to a shirt because I finally found a small. So I'm holding on to it and I'm digging, looking for the next color. And this lady pulls this shirt out my hand and it kind of shocked me. And I look over And I'm like, excuse me? And she looks at me, what is your name? You are knocking the shirts all over the floor. I said, my name's Serial. It is up to you what the last name's going to be today. I like round numbers. I have 9 in the basement. Do you want to be 10? That's the mood I was in.
Oh, boy.
She called security.
And what did security do? Obviously, they kicked you out, right?
She came over there and told me to tone it down. And this lady screaming, she's a serial killer. I'm like, she had the basement and said, we live in Louisiana. I was joking. I was like, I'm going to leave because today has been a bad day. And this lady, and she is still sitting there. This woman's in her late 60s or 70s. Her family's going to have to go to a funeral soon because she was lucky my husband pulled me out of that store.
So so let me get this straight. You were shoplifting at Costco. you saw a few shirts. And this lady wanted the size that you had. So when she approached you, you punched her. And then she tried to take the shirt and you called her a cracker. And then security came. Is that what happened? Is that what really happened, Melanie? Is that more accurate?
Nope. I literally told her it was up to her to depend on what my serial last name was going to be today.
Okay. Somebody says the phone audio is low. That's impossible. Liv, can you go listen to it? Hold on a second, Melanie. I want to fix this because this is the first time we've really used this, but it shouldn't be.
I'll go listen to it. Hang on.
No, just open your phone and take a listen. Watch.
Okay.
Hold on a second. Say something again.
Okay.
Hang on. I got to get it open.
Hello.
Okay, yeah, it's cranking pretty high. Let me just.
Yeah, I have a lady that cleans twice a month also.
Yeah, well, so does that sound low to you? All right, sounds good to me. So yeah, no, audio is fine here. Okay, so all right, so you're in. So they kicked you out, and they told you what was the final straw that got you kicked out?
Well, my husband went in hiding. See, he had his back surgery, and today I had to go get the grandkids because we have 50% custody. He wanted to get out the house. I said, okay. So I drove his big tank Lincoln thing, and he was in one of those things, the electric cars.
Yeah.
He took off.
So have you?
Yes. He said he went to get bail money.
Have you, when he does that, have him pick up the donation for tonight because our housekeeper has 12 kids they need to feed and I don't want to pay her. So if you could help us out,
my God.
We'd appreciate it. Could you steal something from Costco?
Every time she comes, has another kid with her. I did. I told him, I said, you know what? I'm just going to leave. I'm done shopping anyway, because if I stay here and this woman continues, I will be leaving in cuffs. I'm going.
Yeah. Is she a liberal?
I don't know we don't have many liberals here.
Sounds like you do.
I think she was just a Karen.
Yeah.
I think she was just mad because she couldn't find, you have to dig in those shirts to find sizes. And it's like, I found that one small, but I don't know who she's buying for because she sure as heck ain't in no small. She better go to XXY.
I'll bet you $100 you should go back in there or put on a disguise of something, rummage through your glove box and find a pair of glasses and go back in there. And when she writes her check, I guarantee, or shows her driver's license, I bet she has 3 names. I bet you $100 her name is
Oh, I tried.
I
tried to get my husband to get in his cart and follow her because I did. That's exactly what
I bet her name is Jennifer Rivers Kershaw. That's totally a Karen name. Jennifer Rivers Kershaw, right? Just
oh my God.
What a piece of crap. All right.
Were you shopping in your robe, Melanie?
No, but let me tell you, if I could, I would have. I had to put on some decent clothes today and go out.
That was from Amy Bordeaux. She wanted to know.
Okay, so we have really bad mosquitoes here in Louisiana, and I live on the bayou. So I wear a robe when I come outside to smoke or take the dogs out and hope the mosquitoes don't penetrate the robe. So every time they call me,
what type of mosquitoes
I'm always
are we talking?
in a robe.
It's freaking Texas mosquitoes, the size of freaking golf balls.
Yeah, they're
and they bite through clothes. I don't know how many times I got bit through my yoga pants or my t-shirt, and they bit me through them. Oh, they're awful.
Exactly. Those aren't bad because when I'm at the ranch dealing with the animals, those damn horseflies hurt.
Oh yeah.
Oh my
Horseflies
God,
suck.
they draw blood.
Oh yeah, they're awful.
Horseflies suck. All right, Melanie. Try not to
They
get
are
arrested at
horrible.
Costco. Of all the places, I mean, that's so cliche. It's such an episode of Cops.
It
I mean,
is.
seriously.
I'm waiting to see on an episode of Cops one day.
Like, bad
Melanie.
girls. What you gonna do? The bitch won't give me my T-shirt back.
Well, not. Remember, you already played a video of the teachers getting arrested and shit. So
Yeah.
Good.
Well, it's kind of funny. I love when you're like, oh, we have mosquitoes, or you're like, we're born on the bayou, and then we have mosquitoes, and I'm like, that's kind of redundant, you know? I mean, there's some things that just go unsaid. It's like, I'm from Beverly Hills, I'm a snob. I'm from Alabama, and I sleep with my cousin, and I'm from the bayou, and there are giant mosquitoes. Melanie, we love you. Good talking to you. Stay safe.
Bye.
Hi.
Bye, Melanie.
Love you, kid. Bye. She's awesome. All right, we got a show to do. We're going to be too busy. What are we doing first? Youngkin takes a lap. Brings up all of his. Can I address the housekeeper situation?
Yes.
Okay,
Because
folks.
I know it's gonna just.
This is driving me up the fucking wall. How I spend my money, mine, has nothing to do with the show. The show's, Olivia and I meticulously separate the show funds from our personal expenses. This is a business. We have an accountant. The money that we have, all the donations that we've collected since we started doing this are in a savings / PayPal account / Venmo account. Every dime. Every single dime. And we don't use that money, and we save it for the business. And we save it for our own payroll and what we make at the end of the year. Now, is it robbing Peter to pay Paul? Sure. But Olivia has a full-time job that pays very well. I still have income that comes in, which is nobody's concern. And we receive money from a gold sponsor that's in a corner all the way over there that also supplements our income. And although the donations are about 50%, well, about 40% of our overall company income, which is amazing, we love you and thank you for it, it's not the only thing that we have coming in. And trust me, Olivia and I take our own personal monies and put it into the show all the time. And in fact, we did that for 4 years when we basically made nothing. I do have to justify. I don't appreciate, especially longtime listener who I adore and love, twice now coming in here, dropping a bomb like that, and then saying, I'm out of here. You know what? Just fucking stay gone. Just stay gone. If you feel that I've gotten too big for my britches, if you think that my wife should work her 55 hours a week and then do another 25 here, and then I should go ahead and do my 75 hours a week dedicated to the show and not be able to get a housekeeper every quarter just to kind of help out with the house and help get the things that we can't get to, then I want you to do me a favor and never donate to the show again. But anytime you want me to open up the books, I've got no problem, and I will show you what we do. And that's an invite to anyone who wants to know. But to sit here and drop a bomb like that and make us feel bad or make my wife feel bad because we brought in a housekeeper for a quarter to help with spring cleaning and help with the pollen that's covering all the deck and all the house and all the windows and inside the house and everything else, because that's what happens here in Virginia. It goes from bare Halloween's Eve without a leaf in sight, literally, to spring foliage and pollen drops. And
oh, my car is yellow. No matter what I do, it's yellow every morning. So I just leave it.
So, no, she's not joking. Dowdy, she's not. And I love, Dodie, how you're so kind and so loving. She's not joking. Because this is now twice. And I see these things. I notice these things. Just don't ruin people's nights. Don't do that. Because I think that we give a really good show. And I'm sorry if that bothers you. Melanie says, my house is 3,400 square feet. I would see hubby's feet pics to pay those housekeeping or be at the pawn shop. How do you spend your money as your business? It is, but this is a little bit different, right? It's a little bit different because people are donating to the show and they're helping out. And I don't want people thinking that we're living on the lap of luxury. We still have one car, folks. That tells you anything. So I'm with Crowder. And see, people thought Crowder was like poor because he only had one car. No, Crowder is smart because I work from home and Crowder he could walk to his office. There's no reason for it. Anyway.
Yeah, there's no point in having 2 car payments when it's going to sit in the driveway and really not go anywhere. So
yeah, it's only the people that you care about. You know what I mean? People you care about. Is they give them the power to care about them, and then they say something like that, and it's just not right. Okay, it's just not cool. Just don't abuse that relationship. You know what I mean? We're human beings. We have feelings. We don't like to be accused of things. We don't like people to, it's just the way you did it. 5 question marks and 7 exclamation points, all caps, and then I'm out of here. Stay gone. Bye. You won't be the first person who's been here a long time to leave, and you won't be the first person who came back multiple times. All right. Yes, Mike has to drive me around. That is absolutely true. The fact that you know that, Amy, makes me, yeah. I know that, Bobby, but it's my job to address that. It's important to me. It's like when, Doucheplow, what was that guy's name? Kyrie said, I didn't pay my taxes. And I'm like, okay. And I posted all my income tax returns for the business for 4 years on the website. So my integrity is really important to me. And if people knew how painstakingly and saw the spreadsheets that, like, our accountant called in and she was like, oh my God, can you index this and tabulate this spreadsheet you guys made? Because my God, there's so much there because everything that we do it purposefully. Okay, good. There, we're done. Oh, I'm out of here is different. Right. That was the point. We can get Matt an Amish foot scooter. Ooh, that sounds fun.
An Amish
Is that code for
scooter?
something? Because it sounds a lot naughtier than I want it to be. I truly enjoy the show and I've learned so much, but the donation you two earn with them with the show, you work hard and put a show out 5 days a week. We do, but it's cool. We always separate the business dollars from our personal expenses. In fact, I just had to transfer some money to our personal account today in order to cover some things that happened that we weren't expecting. And that happens.
AC being one.
Right. AC being one. And then the business had to put out $1,500 to buy new console and new cards for the cameras. It's just, guys, it's a business. All right. I'm good. I got a little sensitive. I'm not going to lie. My vagina got hurt just a little bit because it's someone I care about. All right. We're going to have a longer show. It's obvious. Holy shit, Liv. 46.
We don't have children right now, so.
46 minutes.
Yep.
It's all right. It's going to be a good show. It's going to be fun. Let's see. Let's get this started. Governor Glenn Youngkin took a lap. Now, this is our governor.
Which he deserves.
Yeah, he should. He has done a lot for the state of Virginia. Jeff Honeycutt goes, I took a gummy and I listened to your show and I'm super focused. Go boy. Jeff always drops donations at the right time too. Like, it's always after the show and I see it. I'm like, oh, thanks, Jeff. That's so nice.
Oh, that's funny. Would you like to share those gummies?
Yeah.
Be very interesting.
Here's Youngkin. He is taking a lap on his time as governor as we are about to lose him. Here it is.
Over $100 billion in capital investment, new and expanding businesses already committed. There's over 267,000 more Virginians working today than when we started. And that $100+ billion of capital commitment underpins another 70,000 jobs that will materialize in the future. We've broken through our goal for 10,000 startups, and now we're at 15,000 high-growth startups in the Commonwealth of Virginia. We stand here with record levels of rainy day reserves. And yes, $9 billion in tax relief, record-setting education investment. Just this week, the announcement that we've had a 44% year-over-year drop in fentanyl deaths to lead the nation in reducing overdose deaths. Our streets are safer. We have the healthiest Chesapeake Bay in over 2 decades, and a port that is the envy of not only the nation, but the world. And maybe most importantly, once again, we are a growing state with more people moving to Virginia than to the other 49 states for the first time in over a decade.
Stay out.
We are strong. We are dynamic. And we are winning together.
I love living here. I'm not going to lie. I love Virginia. I love our town.
I don't want him to leave. He needs to stay our governor.
Well, he needs to be the president. And now this is when it starts. So he will start essentially buying Republican pylon seats across the states and bidding for these pylons, which essentially gives him access to the counties, registries, and the Republican committees, flagships in each state. And he'll start assigning these and running for these, but he's going to begin now. And he should, because he is a likely successor for Donald Trump. He is an extremely smart businessman. He has a conservative mind, but he is a moderate socially, which is going to help create an umbrella for the party. And I think we would be very lucky to have him as president.
I think he would do a great job.
Yeah.
He's very relatable too.
He is. And he's not, he has the disposition of Bobby Kennedy. He kind of comes off as like a Bobby Kennedy look, and even very similar hair as Kennedy, but he's polished. He has no problem getting down to anyone's level or up on anyone's level. But he's solid. So we really enjoy Youngkin. We think he's a great guy. And honestly, Hayden wants to volunteer for his campaign because she's going to be 18 if he runs, and she wants to be a part of it, which is kind of cool. So,
and we stood out in the cold to watch him. It was the night before elections. It was his last rally, and he came to the fairgrounds right down the street, and we stood out in the cold for hours to see him. Worth it.
Yeah. Yeah. So should be interesting to see. And like, I just think it's awesome that Hayden wants to work with him, you know?
Yep.
I'm looking something up real quick. Yeah. That's 1 second, please.
Okay.
Yeah. I always like to look up things when someone makes a comment and say, you know what? Let me find out the contributions that somebody makes to the show when they may struggle with the contributions that are given to the show. And it's always difficult when you don't find anything, because then it's hard to take a person seriously. Anyway, it's always easier to spend somebody else's money, I guess. RFK Jr., Dr. Fauci, talks about gain of function research and really goes after it for the first time. Anyone in government has really, hey, Thomas, what's up, buddy? Has really, you can have Timmy, we don't want him. Rick J. Who doesn't want him, Rick? Who, Virginia?
Who's Timmy?
I think I don't know. I don't know.
I don't know. Maybe he's not even talking to us.
You can have Timmy, we don't want him. I don't know who Timmy is. Tim Kaine? Oh, that would make sense.
Yeah.
I don't want Kaine either.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want Kaine out of here too. I'm with you.
Yep. I get that.
I could see Youngkin challenging for the Senate seat, but I don't, that's not where he lies. He needs to, the way he did Virginia with his business experience, he has enough to be president. Like, he will probably be one of the most qualified presidents we've had in the last 20 years. And very much like Reagan, he's got the political experience, but also a secondary skill set. Now, Donald Trump had the business experience, but not the political experience. But running business is actually a huge benefit for him, but really didn't have the political experience. Reagan had the political and the Hollywood, working with the Screenwriters Guild, things to that effect, and then he was a governor also. So he had both, but Youngkin would be extremely qualified. Vicky says, I've been gone so long, nobody remembers me. Everyone remembers you. We just don't know why you're gone. I've sent you probably 20 messages and you just disappeared. I'm not sure why you left, but I've cared. Minnesota doesn't want him. Tampon Timmy. Oh yeah. Tim Walz. Got you, Rick.
The Kevster. Thank you. 1080.
Thanks, buddy.
For an upgrade, it said it went too long.
What's that?
It said for an upgrade to a smart waiter.
Oh, Amy says, I can't help the show financially, but I like to share every single post. Maybe when things get better, I can do more. Amy, it's not necessary. And that's the thing. You guys can always watch the show. You don't have to donate. But if you're going to talk shit about the donations, you might want to probably have some skin in the game, is my thought. And I'm not talking about you, Amy. Moving on. I'm done. I carry things. I don't like that. Bothers me. Here is RFK talking about gain of function research. Olivia, you know what gain of function research is?
Yes.
Thomas Griffith says, Matt, good news. Got a clean bill of health for my heart. Good diet, proper exercise. The clog is now irrelevant. My heart adapt and overcame. Congratulations.
Awesome.
We have
Good
some
job.
good news too. Health with our family. So it seems like good news all around. And Melanie got arrested for shoplifting in Costco. So all good news. Here is the video. Here is, there we go.
I will end all gain of function research. I will sign a treaty to end gain of function research to get all nations to end gain of function research. It's just a disaster. It's given us no benefits. It's given us everything from Lyme disease to COVID and many, many other diseases. That RSV, which is now one of the biggest killers of children, came out of a vaccine lab. And we can go down the whole list of diseases that down to and there's good evidence that even Spanish flu came from vaccine research, and we don't know, and we'll probably never know. But there are very, very strong articles suggesting that now. The medical research on these diseases and vaccine research has actually created some of the worst plagues in our history. Anybody who reads The River will come away pretty much convinced that HIV also came from a vaccine program. And there's plenty of evidence of that as well. I'm not saying it did because we can't say, but I'm saying there's strong evidence that it did, and there's very, very little evidence that gain of function has given us even marginal benefits, and it's given us horrible, horrible catastrophes, and the risks are simply unworth it. Oh, I will end it. I will try to end it globally. I'll try to sign a treaty of the kind to basically reinstate the Geneva Convention and the biological weapons charter that we signed in 1973 and make it verifiable and get other nations to agree on it.
Did gain of function research start as trying to be a good thing to find vaccines for stuff?
It's always was intended to be a good thing until humanity was entered into the processes. So gain of function research would be expanding and increasing the lethality of a disease to have it essentially evolve into a different state and form. See, viruses work one of two ways. They either are slowly produced and they kill their host fast, or they are fast to produce and linger and stay. And gain of function research will take different types of antibodies and different types of viruses and mix them together, like weaponized chickenpox, which is a real thing. And the intent of gain of function research from a National Institute of Health or CDC or pharmaceutical company or whatever it would be to alter the virus to change its overall methodology of application and attack in order to discover the antibodies that it can produce from increasing its overall strength and overall processes. So you can create hybrids and things in order to test new theorems and apply that as an antibody to that virus in order to kill it. Now, COVID, the interesting thing is that COVID adapted. COVID was a quick killer, and it would come in and it would actually lay dormant for quite a while, 10 days of incubation time, and then would aggressively attack its host and kill it. Well, the virus ultimately changed, and it adapted, and it realized, as most viruses do, that killing your host that quickly is not a good thing. So it then showed up quicker and lingered longer and was a little bit harder to kill the second iterations and everything else. Then it became vaccine insensitive, and the antibodies that they attacked is the virus would adapt. So my point is that the reason why you introduce gain of function research is to change the makeup of the virus to get it to produce attack in different ways that will leave clues of how you can attack it faster and kill its process.
Got it.
And that's what gain of function is intended to do. However, once you add humans into the equation, you have people who are using it for nefarious ways, whether it be using weaponized chickenpox or creating different strains of Ebola or other types of deadly toxins. And it's not just virus, but you're talking sarin gas, which sarin gas was found through variant tests of not gain of function research, but mixing different types of chemicals together that were being used and having the toxicity leave devastating results. And ultimately, sarin, the way it works is that when it hits, if you are not in a mop suit and completely sealed, even contact to the skin can kill you. It was horrible. Where mustard gas had to be inhaled and ingested and go in through the mucous membranes and everything, sarin doesn't need that. Sarin can just literally kill your ass just by contact. So my point is this: once man is involved, Liv, the long answer to that question is gain of function research is not designed to be bad, but that is the overall cause and effect of it, is that it always leads to something bad because it gets out of control and it's dangerous. So is the intent good? Yes, but the result more often than not is bad because you don't know how these things are going to react. Here's an example. If you go to South America and you throw a ham bone in the river, it's going to get eaten alive by piranha, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So you see that process and you're like, okay, well, these piranha, wouldn't it be great to grab a bunch of these piranha and put them in certain areas with high humidity in order to take suckerfish and algae eaters and other type aggressive species like the Asian carp, even though that's in a cold water. So let's just say it's down south. We're going to bring piranha to put them in Florida. Well, so you do that, and then they dominate and as predators destroy all of the bad fish. But when the bad fish are gone, then they start hitting the normal wildlife and they start hitting the local fishery and whatever's used for business. And that ultimately collapses the business. And then it has this huge effect. And then you have a bigger problem than it started. Same thing with this virus. When you alter it and change the ecosystem of how it works, it can turn into a monster and you can lose control of it. And that's exactly what happened to COVID. So in most labs, people have an incubation time when they start working with certain levels of viruses, whether it's level 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5 virus. 4 and 5 are weaponized. These are global killers. These are things that can wipe out everybody. Level 3 are things like weaponized chickenpox and other type of weaponized airborne viruses.
Think COVID was made to be weaponized?
Sure. Yeah, because SARS-2 was like 2000 first exposure. Mm-hmm. So these were iterations of SARS-2, and we've had exposure to this. So obviously they were screwing around with it. And I think why it got out of the lab was because the incubation time was so long. With whatever they were working on with SARS-2, it had actually a very quick incubation time, and it wasn't as lethal as the first string of COVID-19 was. So I think when the Chinese altered it and screwed around with it, do I think they purposely released it? No, I don't believe that. I really don't. Because killing millions upon millions of people is going to get you in some serious shit. I believe that it was a lack of quality standards, but also a lack of knowledge of how COVID-19 spread, and that it laid so dormant in the incubation period and was resistant to whatever type of medicine they did have, because they had vaccines at a very quick pace. In fact, China was able to cure it faster than any other country and get it quarantined. Now, they rounded up a lot of people and killed them and put them into camps and let them die. And they would go in and cleanse these cities. Whoever even showed symptoms, they'd round them all up and put them together. But they weren't inoculated, but they stopped the spread in a very quick way. They were one of the first hit, and they were one of the first done. That's usually not the way it works. First hit usually lags behind the rest of the world because there is no data to work on. And before it usually hits the United States or whatever, the CDC will release something globally, the WHO will release something globally, give the data and start replicating serums and vaccines and everything else. So the first hit usually takes the biggest damage and is one of the slowest to recover, but China didn't do that. So they had something. And I believe when these guys were exposed to it, they gave them whatever they had, the antibodies that they possessed, and then obviously gave them a grace period. And that's usually what you do when you're working in these labs. You'll do like 48 hours on, and then you'll do 24 hours of an evaluation period, whatever, take a blood test, they'll check it, and they'll let you out. In this case, most of those guys probably were in for, these are higher level viruses, they were in for 5 days, sometimes a month. Then they would have like a 72-hour incubation period, and then to see if anything comes up, do a blood test, and let them out. I believe that they probably did not have the ability to test it like nobody else did, and it went undiscovered, and they left, and they spread it around. That's my guess. Do I have any proof of that? No, I don't. But that's my understanding of what would happen without a nefarious China trying to run a global pandemic operation. It just doesn't make much sense. Matt, I never got your messages. Talked to you on the phone not too long ago. Yeah, but I was messaging you on Facebook and stuff. I wasn't assuming that you weren't talking to me. You just kind of disappeared, and I just let you go. And we miss you, and we love you, and we want you to stay here. Tamar donated $10. Thank you, Tamar.
I'm going to go turn off the TV. It's driving me nuts because no one's here, but I can hear people talking.
Sure, go ahead.
It's killing me.
Janet Gale says, Doty, pardon isn't real, was signed with an auto pen, not the president himself, which nullifies as a legal document. That's not true. Janet, I don't want to disagree with you, but if that's true, then there are hundreds of thousands of people who can now get out of their contract with their house. I've signed pretty much every major loan that I've ever done with an auto pen, and if it is a verified document through whatever service, whether it be E-Verify or RotoCheck or whatever else it would be, it is 100% an acceptable form. If that digital signature comes from an email and an IP and everything else which is assigned to quality check that, I'm not here to defend Joe Biden. But I'm letting you know that the Supreme Court overriding a pardon is a very big stretch, and I don't anticipate it happening. And the auto pen, this isn't the first time that presidents have used auto pen, have used placeholders for signatures, have used other people in the cabinet to sign secretarial work. The president has like 25 secretaries working for him at any given time, and it's not going to change anything. That's just my personal opinion, but it's also it's fact. It's every document in America, every single person on right now has done some sort of robo signing and auto penning with a contract. And if that's the case, then they're all null and void, and it's just not going to happen. Fauci extended the research in UNC Chapel Hill to 2015 and then had the U.S. pay for it. I disagree, Matt. Gain of function research is to create viruses that do damage. No, Chuck, it's not. That's what happens, but that's not the intent. And that's why I said once you add humanity into it, you get these horrible outcomes. But no, gain of function research, its original intent. Now, it depends what you want to talk about. From the United States, CDC, NIH, biotechs, and the original funding for gain of function wasn't to weaponize these things. That's not what it was designed to do. It was to create a virus in different habitats and different environments with different string makeups in order to see if we could go ahead and use antibodies. Because viruses, here's the thing. If you can take a virus that's a fast-moving virus or has a slow incubation period, but it's a killer and it kills its host, and you can alter it with an antibody that changes its makeup, and the virus adapts into a less lethal virus, that's what a vaccine is intended to do. At least not just full inoculation, but that's what its original design is to do. It's to alter the virus and have it evolve into something less lethal. And that's why you do gain-of-function research. But the problem with that is that it's a two-edged sword. Although you may have certain things that come out of it that are good, which you can look at gain-of-function research and know that there have been breakthroughs through gain-of-function research that haven't been detrimental to the mass populace. But you can also look that there's evidence that they have. And this COVID gain-of-function research is a perfect example. That's my point. But gain-of-function in its original state was not designed to do what happened with COVID. But gain-of-function research has been used from a nefarious purpose to create biological and chemical weapons, most assuredly. The Germans did this. Russians did this. We did this. So is gain-of-function research damaging and dangerous? Absolutely. It always has been. Has it made discoveries that are positive? Yes. And has it also created things that have been detrimental and that the cure is worse than the disease? Yes. But that doesn't mean that the intent of gain-of-function research, by all intents and purpose, is to create some sort of super weapon, because that's not true. That's not what gain-of-function research is. But it most assuredly can happen because you create these things that you can't cage the beast once you release it, is my point. Chuck, it wasn't that way when they first set it up. That's correct. Obama shut down gain-of-function at CDC. Yeah, and Donald Trump brought it back. So, I mean, if we want to get technical, he brought it back. So, good evening, Dumb Nation. Hi, Joel. My own opinion is that government used it as a test to see how much population would fall in line. The problem is the truth usually comes out. I think it was a test to try to see how uncontrollable the public would be. Yes, and invested money in Wuhan. Well, we're talking about two different things. You're talking about gain-of-function research, and then you're talking about the intent of humanity. Those are two very different things. That's like saying that the original intent of the nuclear bomb was to kill hundreds of thousands of people. That's true. But splitting the atom was not designed to kill everybody. Making a micrometer wasn't designed so you could see certain particles that you couldn't see with the human eye just so we could kill everybody. Plutonium and weaponized plutonium wasn't necessarily designed. Plutonium wasn't designed to create weaponized plutonium. It wasn't designed to kill people. When you look at the nuclear reactor and where we've had failures there, and you look at Chernobyl, or you look at the Japan reactor where the salt water came in, and you saw these massive leaks of radiation. Its design wasn't to kill people. Its design wasn't nefarious. It was to provide energy, the cleanest energy that we could possibly do at the time. And ultimately there was a failure of the system, which made it very damaging. My point is that gain-of-function wasn't designed to wipe out Earth or wipe out all of existence. Unfortunately, that gain-of-function research is handled by men, and men are sinners, and they're not infallible, and they make mistakes, and with that comes a very heavy price if those things aren't followed. That is my point. And yes, when you talk about Wuhan exactly, of course we invested money into Wuhan. The Institute of Virology was doing many different things, and we know why. You can go back and take a look, 2015, 2016 documents, and take a look at Donald Trump, where before Donald Trump came in, the CDC, WHO had warned that an upper respiratory type virus would wipe out based upon our current rebreathers and PPE and overall funding and the fact that you looked at chickenpox or measles, and our overall vaccine levels were so incredibly small that we couldn't, if a major outbreak took place of any of these things or a reoccurrence, that the United States would be years behind with creating enough serum and enough vaccines in order to be effective. I mean, so it's not like there wasn't some signs of this. And so working on that gain of function research when it came to the SARS COVID string was probably preventative, that wound up being a massive mistake that wound up costing millions of people their lives. And that doesn't change the fact that they covered up the Wuhan investigation, that they covered up the funding, that Fauci lied. All of those things need to be held to account. But we're making the connection that it was created to murder millions of people. And I'm not going to say that because China has a way to do that that's a hell of a lot easier. They have level 4 and level 5 type viruses that they could release in a vial and sit back and watch. China isn't stupid, and China understands that its borders, its cities, its airports, its security can't keep a virus of any magnitude out of its borders. They just simply don't have the personnel, and it's too much area to cover, and they would be cutting their own throats. It just doesn't make sense. But an accident that was funded by the United States with maybe not nefarious purposes, but wound up being so, is probably more than likely what took place. Fauci warned that this would happen in Trump's first presidency. That's correct. Didn't China shut down national travel but still allowed international travel? Yeah. Yeah. China did a lot of things, but so did everybody else. They also locked people up and threw them into camps and let them die. Yes, they got several days' notice to leave the country, that they were closing off travel on a specific day. Yeah. AutoPen is not an electronic signature. AutoPen is classified as an electronic signature. Chuck, are we just going to argue all night? Is that what we're going to do? Tell me why. Why don't you call in, Chuck? Let's make this easier. Because I don't want to go through the comments and argue all night. So just call me. It'll make it easier. So I'll wait for you to call. You got the number? Liv, you want to throw it up there?
276-200-2105 is the number.
I'll wait. You're good on COVID-19. Couldn't have said it better, but there's always branches. Thank you. Other creators have said it wasn't valid. Good to know it is valid. See, most creators are going to say, sorry, I was reading something. Obama shut down the CDC because the U.S. shouldn't be doing that research. Yeah, Donald Trump turned it back on. Just telling you what happened. Look it up. Donald Trump turned it back on. Actually, Obama started the LAR, I don't know what that is, with Fauci funded. Hi all. Wuhan was with Obama and Fauci. You guys need to do some research on this. Obama started that lie. Matt, we all agree to disagree, but no. Chuck, there's no disagreement here. Your argument is what? That AutoPen isn't a form of valid signature, because it absolutely is. It 100% is, and it's been used by presidents for a lot longer.
What is AutoPen?
I'm going to explain it to you.
Okay.
All right. So hey Chuck, let me get you up on here. Okay. So what's your argument? Which one you want to do first? You want to do AutoPen, or you want to do COVID?
Well, AutoPen is not an electronic signature. An electronic signature
I didn't
is
say
designed to have a digital certificate that says, yes, this is not the person's real signature, but it's electronically certified.
That's right.
That's
That's what I said. That's what I just said, Chuck.
Okay. Okay. Well, then an AutoPen is nothing than a rubber stamp.
It's not a rubber stamp. That's not what it is at all. An AutoPen is
then
a type.
How is it legitimately recognized between the two different types?
Okay.
Rubber stamp, electronic signature.
All right. So AutoPen, it's considered a type of electronic signature. It's distinct from a digital signature. There's two differences. So it's mechanical or an electronic device, and it reproduces the person's handwritten signature. It's been used by U.S. presidents.
So
it's been
a
used,
rubber stamp.
But no, because you're saying it's a rubber stamp. It's not a rubber stamp. It's an electronic signature that is applied to multiple documents, whether it be a president or an ambassador. Judges use it. Anyone who has a high volume of documents in triplicate that they want to go ahead and sign, and it's qualified as a valid, authorized signature, but it goes through a process.
Correct.
So it's not a digital signature, and it's not encrypted.
Well, it is. I use them all the time. I do DocuSign all the time. Use it just the other day.
Okay.
And if I were to print that document out, it's going to have a signature. It's clearly not mine. It's going to have initials that clearly is not my handwriting, but it's going to have brackets around it, and that bracket next to it is going to be an electronic certificate that says, yes, we validate that this is actually this person's signature.
Right. So
if I print it out, that is included in the document.
Depending upon which form of DocuSign you're using. DocuSign also has the ability, especially on an iPad or a phone, to actually put in your signature via a digital press pen or your finger to go ahead and sign, and that can also be included. There's plenty of documents that you can do that with. Usually initials are for amendments on a DocuSign document and a VeriSign document. Initials are used, but your full signature is required on any binding contract or document like home loans or any business administration loans, and you have an absolute requirement to a full signature. Otherwise, it's not a valid contract. So you're not allowed to put initials on a signature verification. That is what you get from a digital. Go ahead.
It's my signature and my initials.
Sure.
Both are included.
Of course. So you're okay. So are you agreeing or disagreeing that is a 100% verified form of signature or not?
I agree that electronic signatures today, and have been for many years, something that is quite frequently used in business, especially since everybody went remote.
Okay, good. So we agree with that. Okay, so what we're saying,
I agree with that part of it. Yeah.
Okay, good. So I don't know why we're arguing that. So an auto pin, you say it's a rubber stamp. Okay. So what you're saying is that you have an ink pad and you have a stamp and you go ahead and rub it and then stamp it. And that's what an auto pin is. That's not what an auto pin is.
I think that's what they're calling an auto pin.
Well,
Matt, because even if I go to a checkout and I use my credit card, and what do I got to do? I got to grab a pen or use my fingernail and try to sign it. Mm-hmm. Even though that signature doesn't look anything like mine, it's still accepted, and accepted in the form that the machine copied it in. But when you have something that simply puts out a signature and there's no, and it's a replicated signature and it doesn't have a digital certificate, I find that very questionable. Now, you may say it exists and may say they do that, but what's the difference between that and a rubber stamp? When I look at the documents that they're referencing, when they say it's an auto pen, which I just find a euphemistic term about what a rubber stamp is, and there's nothing there to indicate that it has an electronic certificate to say that yes, actually this person signed it. Then it's not really auto pen.
Okay.
My opinion. Matt, you're right. We can debate this all night.
There's no debate because I haven't been able to give you the facts. Opinion, Chuck, as you know, means very little to me. I mean, if we want to have an opinion,
I understand.
If you want to have an opinion, then awesome. Conversation's over. I respect your opinion. But if we want to bring facts into this and allow me to finish my thought, I think I can convince you otherwise, because I'm not going to bring opinion into this argument, because I don't do it that way. I don't play that game. I just never have. So
my apologies.
Don't apologize. Don't apologize. Just give me a chance to speak, and you can disagree, but these are the incontrovertible facts of what it is. This is the law, and it's legally binding. And how I know about this is because I clerked for the governor in Wyoming. And I can tell you that the governor, out of the documents that were not in front of a press table or not in front of the governor's mansion, were all auto-penned and all auto-signed. Now, that's all changed. And now it's done from an e-signature, DocuSign, or Verify type system. But an auto-pen it can absolutely be legally binding, 100%. But you have to have, well, hold on, I'm going to tell you why. You have to have the proper authority to do so. And courts will generally uphold all auto pen signatures as valid, but there's some criteria, okay? The person who authorized the signature has to give explicit permission to use it. So it has to be assigned, and that is where you get your signature. For instance, document ABCDEFG-123 has been verified and signed, and all pages hereunto with 72 enclosed signatures will be auto-generated signed by AutoPen by this person. And then Joe Biden would overall sign it, or a person who worked with Joe Biden, as some people are saying, nefariously put things through that he didn't sign. But that's neither here nor there. We have to prove that in the court of law. There has to be an intent to sign, and let me finish. There has to be an intent to sign and consent the document's contents. That has to be there. It has to be an intent to sign. So you can't just throw it on there, and if it wasn't intended, that would become null and void. The signature has to comply with laws and regulations as a real signature. It can't be something that is not matching the record on file of that person's signature. So U.S. president, every U.S. president before Barack Obama has used an auto pen. And it's been affirmed several times in courts as legislation that was signed or an executive order that was signed and confirmed as signed by AutoPen. It can be challenged if there's a few things. And the main premise of challenging is this. In a court of law, under sworn testimony, the following question will be asked. Is this your signature? And the moment that that question is asked, if that person affirms that it's their signature, then it is a legal and binding contract with certification through the court of law. If there's a challenge to it, if there's no challenge to it, then nothing happens. Just like every other president, it goes through, it gets pushed through, it becomes legislation, it becomes an executive order, whatever. But if that person says, no, that's not my signature, that's when you'll see somebody say, well, wait a second, here's your signature on file, here's this. And then they could go ahead and inform them that that was an auto pen and I did not give my intent or consent to use it. Then they'll go ahead and pull up the records that I told you about and said, at this time you sent in this, and this, showing your 72 signatures were assigned to this document. Did you not? Yes, I did. If you did that, then that signature has then been certified. And then that person can say something like, I don't recollect, or I don't remember doing that, whatever it would be. But either way, that is how an auto pen works. It's not a rubber stamp. It's not an ink pad where someone goes rejected or vetoed. That's not how it works. It is a signature that is applied to documents by photocopy. It can be applied by a printing press or machine. It can also be applied by a rubber stamp, yes, but it's still a verifiable signature on a legal document through those processes that I just explained. Now I'll shut up and I'll let you answer anything you want or ask me anything you want.
No, I don't know much about auto pen. You say you worked in the civil service and you're familiar with it, and I am not there. So I can't do anything to debate that. You have the facts. You have the experience.
I just also studied the shit out of it too, because I wanted to know myself if this was legal or not. You know what I mean? I wanted to know if Donald Trump used auto pen, if Barack Obama used auto pen, if Bill Clinton, if Reagan did, and the answer most assuredly is yes. They've all used it, and that is because the president can't possibly sign every single document that requires his signature. But there is a verbal confirmation. This is why we have cabinet meetings. This is why you have a chief of staff to say, please formulate this piece of legislation. Then our office will read it. We'll put it through the council of the president, and then they'll read it. And then ultimately you'll have an answer and have it signed. And the White House counsel, which has a shit ton of lawyers, also would use auto pen in this case to advise the president, say, sir, we have a bill that's this, it's clean, it's what we wanted. would you like us to apply your signature on this and approve? And then he'll say yes, give him verbal confirmation. They auto pen it, send it back, and you're done. Now it's a little bit different, but it still holds the same purpose. You know what I mean?
Okay.
All right. So what do you think? I mean, what you're saying is that Joe Biden didn't sign these pardons, is what you think, or what? What's the argument here?
I think it's highly probable. I think yes. Why not?
Yeah, he didn't know much else.
And when I look at what his administration has done, I find very little faith in it.
Yeah.
But that's, again, my opinion, right?
No, because you have circumstantial evidence that demonstrates that Joe Biden has made decisions without cognitive recognition. I agree with you there. But remember, the argument here isn't whether Joe Biden applied his signature to every one of these things. The argument is AutoPen a verifiable way to sign a legal document? And the answer is yes, it is. The question is, was he aware, and did he give his intent and consent to put his signature on these documents? And that is something that I can't possibly tell you. I don't know the answer to that question.
I'm kind of one of those people who try to look at the forest through the trees.
Oh, I know,
so
man.
To speak.
I'm not arguing with you. I'm really not. I'm just challenging the thought that AutoPen is an acceptable form of signature. And that's what I'm challenging. Whether Joe Biden had his faculties, I'm probably with you. I would be shocked if people, when you sign 8,000 pardons or whatever it was, some incredible number, do I believe that Joe Biden cleared every one of those? Abso-fucking-lutely not. There's no way in hell I believe that. So I'm with you there. The question is, are they legitimate or not? Did he say, I authorize all these pardons, go ahead and apply my signature to the counsel's office? And then they just, with a broad sweeping pen, just did all, I don't know. Like, do you really believe that Donald Trump reviewed each J6 case? There's no way. There's no way.
Well, did he review each case? No, he did not.
No, right.
I think you look at the overall lack of due process, the lack of charges, how the prisoners were treated.
Yep.
How they weren't given the opportunity to talk to lawyers. How they were kept in solitary confinement. Even one of them died in a Georgia prison.
Yeah.
From bug bites or something like that.
Yeah, I'm with you. My point is,
he probably had a list.
Go ahead.
He could have had simply a list of all them in one document, and with one signature, he can say all of them are pardoned.
Right. Well, what he did was a blanket pardon, and then he actually, with the Oath Keepers and the Proud Boys, went ahead and did a commuted sentence, which is different. They're still felons. So, but he even openly said, and Chuck and specifically said, I have not reviewed each case. So in that sense, he did AutoPen. So Trump did too, because he didn't review all 1,700 cases individually. He had someone else do it for him and then did a blanket pardon. So my point is that presidents make these decisions all the time and they apply it to the White House chief of staff. And then that's why he has a cabinet. Does it make what Donald Trump did nefarious? No, it happens all the time. My point is Donald Trump knew and openly talked about it, that he was pardoning these people with a blanket pardon. Joe Biden had no idea about the people, the 8,000 some odd that he pardoned. And we know he didn't, because he literally was guffawed and stuck in the mud when they asked him about it. So we're not disagreeing that Joe Biden is a complete moron and people passed legislation and bills and appropriations through that he had no idea about. I believe that wholeheartedly. I'm just arguing that AutoPen is a legal form of standard for signature verification, not as common as it used to be, but still a common practice in the last 2 decades. That's all.
Okay, I accept.
Cool. What do you want to talk about with COVID?
Well, gain of function. I guess there's 2 ways you can look at that definition. I would like to actually know what is in a dictionary for gain of function.
I will look that up for you.
Gain of function is either you are taking something and making it more potentially something else.
Yep.
more deadly or whatever, gain of function, right? Or you can say gain of function is an effort to create a virus, right? And that is their gain of function, not a virus, a cure for something. And that is not how viruses work. And you admitted that. Viruses try to stay alive.
Yep.
That's their goal.
Yep.
Once they get introduced to something that starts killing them, they start morphing themselves to fight off that cocktail, whatever it is.
Yep.
If they're morphing themselves, then that's done by nature. And I don't believe that a man-made manipulation of a virus is a natural evolution of that virus.
It's not.
So
it's
you're
not a
kinda shooting in the
natural.
dark.
It's absolutely not a
Well,
natural. Yeah, it's not natural in any way, shape, or form. It is
Okay,
manufactured for sure.
So if you're trying to find a cure for something, what's your best target? You're going to use the actual virus to try to reverse engineer, to figure out how it works, and then how can you stop that virus from doing it? That's how most cures are developed, and I kind of know a little bit about this because I work in the biotechnology field. Fire life and safety engineer, but I work for a biotech company. And what they do is they look at the genetic structure and what is broken and that makes this happen, or what is wrong with the structure that makes it happen. And then they use proteins to correct that. So they have a specific target and a specific character trait of how that virus works, because that's how it is. But when you try to manipulate something and make a man-made virus, you haven't really duplicated what can be done by nature, and therefore you're not on the target.
Right, and that's
Does
not.
that make sense?
Oh no, it's perfect sense because there's multiple steps to gain of function. The first step of gain of function's intent. We're talking about the quantifiable results, right? Not the quantitative results. The quantifiable results are to create something that's more aggressive, more malicious, and easily transferable. The virulence of the virus itself is all bad, right? You want to make
Correct.
it. You want to make it more aggressive. You want to make its overall contraction to the host more susceptible, and you want it to attack faster. Now, but wait, that's only the first step, because the solution isn't in the causation. The solution is in the overall result. Because when you take that virus and manipulate it to make it more aggressive, to attack the host versus lay passive in the host, it allows you to have the host with its natural defenses create antibodies, which eventually synthesize the cure. And that is the process. So the gain of function itself is inherently dangerous and bad. The process of testing the aforementioned virus is what gives you the antivirus to stop the original virus and any modification that you may create, as long as those antibodies and host can create that without essentially destroying the host in the process. Now, that's the trick, right? So what you'll do is you'll create something that is extremely virulent, it's dangerous, and it will murder the host, and then you burn the fucking thing. You burn everything you created, and you burn the host body and get rid of it. because ultimately that was a failure, and you start from scratch, and then you recreate it again, and then you test it on monkeys and you test it on dogs, and then you get to clinical trials with humans. But now they do computer models, then they go into animal testing, and then ultimately into human and Homo sapiens. But it's the antibodies that they're seeking, and that is where the gain of function research is a possible positive outcome. Not the research itself, but the application of whatever is created to ultimately get the antibodies necessary to stop the virus in its tracks. I'll let you respond.
One, by manipulating a virus and morphing it into something you think it will become does not mean that that virus will become that in its original natural environment.
Correct.
When it morphs.
Correct.
Okay.
100% correct.
All right.
But real quick, just so we can touch on that, but you do that in order to alter the virus in its current state to find it at a level that you can. Okay, so like let's just say a virus like herpes. We know how herpes is transmitted, depending upon the level, sexually transmitted disease or orally through the mucous membrane, right? So anal glands can transition it. Mucous membranes, if you have herpes on your hand and touch your mouth, you can get it orally, you can get it with sexual, whatever. Okay, so if you took herpes, which is a virus, which is an uncurable virus, you can put it into dormancy and stagnation, but you can't cure it. And you take herpes and then you mix it with something like an influenza. But you have medication which can stop the herpes string and allow people to take this higher level of influenza, and by using medication to attack a portion of the virus in its modified state, then can make people create antibodies to handle the virus because you're changing the complexity of the virus. That is what we're talking about. We're talking about mixing two different types of viruses, or whatever you want to say, flu type A and B, the common cold, HIV, herpes, I mean, all viruses. And that is
spike proteins.
Right, spike proteins. That is ultimately the intent of what they're trying to do. Is it ethical? Well, not if it wipes out millions of people. It certainly wasn't. But the process was designed to be ethical and turned out to be a fucking Frankenstein's monster virus that wound up laying dormant for 10 days and then ultimately killing the host, who were susceptible with predetermined conditions. But the intent, now here's the argument, Chuck, that you got to love. China tested it. China accidentally, in my opinion, truly accidentally, released it with horrible standards and lackluster security measures, and was completely culpable and should be held culpable for this. But also by creating it, got ahead of it to get the antibodies to attack the first strain, and were successful in using it and did not share it with the rest of the world, which ultimately makes them an accessory after the fact too. But my point is that often with nature, even when it's manipulated by man, by chemical or intent or splicing or whatever it would be, most times in nature that the poison usually has the antidote right next to it. And in this case, the killer gives you a roadmap on how to kill it. And it's just an interesting dichotomy. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's just so. Yeah. I don't like gain of function research, bro. I'm not condoning gain of research. I'm just trying to explain that the intent is always failed by human lust and greed and power, and it always manipulates pure thought with the results of this, which is something bad. It turns it into bad. It takes the human element to turn it into evil. Go ahead. I'm going to shut up, and I want to hear the rest of your thoughts on this.
Yeah, I agree. To me, gain of function research is biowarfare. I think that's another way of saying it.
Sure it is. Sure it is.
When Obama shut down the gain of function research and basically transferred to Wuhan, He said the United States shouldn't be involved in this type of research.
Right.
And it's not that it was great research that was going to help people. It's just this is type of research we should not be doing. So we gave it off to Wuhan and probably to a lab in Ukraine, and probably who knows how many labs are out there doing this.
Yes.
And you're absolutely right. China, Wuhan lab, had terrible sterility
Yes.
Practices and guidelines.
Yes.
And then that's when Fauci went over and gave them $850 million to upgrade their HVAC system.
Yep.
Because largely how you control airborne exposed viruses is
HEPA
through
filters and HVAC. Yeah.
Air pressure, air cascade pressure, fume hoods, biosafety cabinets, things like that.
Freon-based systems and or halogen systems, and 100%.
When you do a wash as you leave an area when you got exposed or potentially to get exposed, you would go through a wash in your suit.
Yep.
And those, yes, were often the chemicals that were used to do that.
Yep.
And so, you had Bill Gates and Fauci saying that, Obama or Trump is going to have a pandemic on his hands before anything happened.
Yep.
They're already teeing up the ball, so to speak.
Yeah.
And then it was released in China. There was a female researcher, I forget her name because she's Chinese, and she actually came out and said, no, this was done on purpose, and she quickly disappeared and later died within a week, if I remember how that history went. And then you have China, who says, okay, we're going to shut down local national travel, but still allow international travel. And there was a comment made, well, if you need to get out of the country, get out of the country. That's great. But it wasn't just people who were there who weren't citizens or people who were there who were visiting. It was they continued to have international travel. And that's how it spread to me. That's how it got out into the other countries.
Yeah, and China never cares about anyone but Chinese. I mean, they are one of the strongest nationalist countries ever, in world history. Yeah. So I'm with you. They don't very much care about the rest of the world.
I would slightly correct that. They care about the CCP. They care about the Chinese government. They do not care about their own people because they wouldn't starve them to death.
Oh no, they care about them. They care about them in a way that they're slaves, and that's where I'm talking about. And like communists love their people. They love to kill them. They love to starve them. They love to test on them. They love to round them up and use them as cannon fodder. But it's still a deep-seated love in their eyes. I mean, the CCP, nobody can take you better than the government. I believe the lady's name, if I'm not mistaken, you tell me, was it Li Men Yang? I believe it
might have been. Yeah.
Yeah. So Yen, or it wasn't Yang. Yes, you're right. It was Yen. Yeng. Yeah. I don't think she's dead, dude. I don't think there's any confirmation that she's dead, but there is confirmation that she did flee the U.S. and I read those reports, and it's very troubling. I don't know if you weren't watching me then, but Olivia and Olivia, thank you so much for letting me talk with Chuck, because I don't get to chat with him often, and I love you very much.
I've been chatting on chat.
I see you've been doing that. But Houston Methodist, one of the largest hospitals in the United States, and Houston had like 700,000 cases that they assisted, and one of our good friends was a nurse there, and she had a baby. And while she was pregnant, they told her to get the vaccine. And she refused. And then she was breastfeeding. They told her again. And then when she didn't do it, they fired her. Well, she leaked internal documents to us from the CEO, which was showing the narrative was that if you take the vaccine, you had a 97% chance of not going into the IR if you contracted COVID. And these numbers were grossly exaggerated and lied. Out of the people who went into the emergency and on to, not IR, excuse me, went into ICU, at a 97% of not going into intensive care if you contracted COVID, had a secondary condition that caused you to, lapse into a coma or into, some sort of failure that wouldn't allow you to go ahead and breathe in your respiratory system. They found and said that 97% of the people who had a vaccine would not end up in the ICU. This is what they were saying in administration, World Health Organization, CDC, NIH. And what we found is in the documents, it was surprising. Out of the people who were in ICU, 13% who had the vaccine, 13% of those people who went in had no vaccine. And the difference between that 13% and people who had the vaccine was only 17% didn't go in. It was only a 4% difference. So they told the general public that there was this massive difference, that it was like you had a 0% chance. If you got COVID and you had a secondary condition, you would go to the ICU and you could die. Well, the truth is, it was only like a 4% difference between the vaccinated and unvaccinated of the people who went into ICU with those conditions. So we blew this wide open. And this is one of the reasons why we got defunded. And this is why Facebook doesn't fund us and why YouTube destroyed our first account. So you weren't here. And TikTok. Yeah, TikTok. I had TikTok had 175,000 users in 72 hours. We were on pace to break 1 million in 90 days. We went viral and just crushed on TikTok, and they blacked our account and they deleted us, and they just gave us
stupid reasons.
3 strikes, just bam, 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 and they banned my account. But you weren't here for that. But the point is that I've always released information that's always been true, always been accurate. We had the CEO, his internal documents, writing his staff on these numbers, and they shut us down for doing it. But anyway, man, it's you and I don't disagree. Gain of function research, the end result is not good. The intent of the process is not supposed to be for nefarious reasons. But no matter how you slice it, it's always biowarfare. You are taking a dangerous at any level to some human being on the earth and ultimately altering it to become more aggressive and deadly. That is biowarfare, whether it ever sees the light of day or not.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
How long did it take Moderna and Pfizer to come up with a vaccine?
Well, way too fast. Like clinical trials are supposed to be anywhere from 5 to 7 years. I mean, you know.
Okay, so again, let me tell you a little experience, and it's gotten better, right? But typically, it takes 20 years and $800 million to get a cure to market from the time it's discovered on a microscope on a benchtop, and to go all the processes and go to human clinical trials and file the documents and do that.
Yeah.
And that did not happen in this case.
No.
Right? Can we simply say that?
We can. I disagree on the 20-year mark, because I think for more advanced viruses, but on average, everything I've read is usually clinical trials, creation phase, computer model testing, rolling those tests and rolling those proteins and synthesizing them through computer models. Then it goes to microbe type testing and cells, and then it moves to animal based, and then usually human trials. Is anywhere from 3, 5 to 7 years is my understanding, depending upon the level. But either way, the amount of testing that takes place was infinitesimal. They did essentially they skipped multiple roadblocks and gateways and went to human trials on voluntary basis way too fast and pushed this to market. And just in the face of science, just pretty much just said, this has become theology. This is no longer science. You need to have faith that this is going to work because we're telling you it's an object to authority. And it's an appeal to authority saying, we're the experts. You need to trust us and take this. That is like, I'm going to go walk on water and come down and save your souls. That's a theology. That's not science.
Okay. Like I said, I work for a biotech company, and I should do this HR thing right now, where all the things I'm talking about are my opinion and not official stance of the company I work for.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
but I've been there for 30 years, and in the beginning of those 30 years, that's kind of what it took. Now, like I said, it's gotten better because science gets better, right?
Right.
And our technology gets better. And understanding when we genomed the DNA through AI, that was a huge step for us. However, what Fauci did was lay out the red carpet. He laid out the red carpet by saying he approves it for emergency use. Now, are you familiar with that term?
Say it again.
Are you familiar with that term? Emergency use. It's approved.
Yes.
Under emergency use.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's basically like, say I have cancer, and
right.
nothing's working for me, but they have this new drug out there.
Yep. Experimental use. Yep.
It's experimental, and if you want to, we can try it, and that's great, and I have the opportunity to accept that.
Right.
But one thing about experimental or emergency use is it's not approved if there's alternatives on the market that are effective. So emergency use drug has to be the only thing that they say is going to cure you. Well, that's where you got into the ivermectin discussion.
Right, and hydrochloroquine, and everything else, yeah.
Exactly. They had to shut down the discussion because it challenges the emergency use authorization that Fauci gave to the vaccines.
Yes,
Pfizer and
it also was 7 cents on the fucking dollar. Let's be honest. It was a 65-year-old, medication used for malaria and was given to troops in Vietnam and South America, and it essentially costs pennies on the dollar and was going to make nobody any money. It was used by veterinary clearance for horse dewormer. We know what it was designed for. And it was never going to be able... Listen, when you have millions of people die around the world over COVID. I don't even know what the number is. What is it? Like 11 million people died from COVID? Yeah.
Well, what the actual numbers are? And
I know. I'm not talking.
Even that you got to challenge. Yeah.
Yes, you got to challenge that too. Yes, you got to challenge that too. Okay. Like when people challenge the Holocaust, it pissed me off. When people challenge COVID, I'm like, you're right on, brother. You're red pilled. Because we know when you tell a hospital, I'm going to give you $10,000 for every COVID test that you go ahead and apply and declare as a person with COVID. We're going to give you $25,000 when you admit these people, and we're going to give you $75,000 when you put them in ICU, and we're going to give you $125,000 if they die under your care. Trust me, people's their administration work is going to get a little checkboxy on a bunch of stuff. You and I both know this. Hospitals, because hospitals have a temperance for not being greedy. But the point I'm trying to make here about this is that you had no money in any of this. And this is a $1 trillion. Yes, this is a $1 trillion effort. And they're still pushing it. Listen, they're still pushing the COVID vaccine. Why? We've been told that there is no more threat. Why are you pushing the vaccine? We've never pushed a vaccine for a common cold. We've never pushed a vaccine for an upper respiratory infection. Why would you continue to do that? Because it's obviously the money. The only other thing I'll say about that is that somebody said it takes 6 to 8 years for a vaccine. That's true, kinda. Because if it's a variation or an iteration of an already established vaccine, it doesn't take that long. So that's why I said 3, 5 to 7 years. It depends upon the level of vaccine, whether this is a brand new fresh vaccine that has no other string attached to it or no other basis for it, then that's going to take a lot longer than something that essentially is a mutated type virus where you have the effective antibodies that need to be altered or triggered with a new strain, and then obviously a very short period of testing, and then you release a new one. The best example I can give you is the influenza shot that they give that I will never get. That changes, there's 72 branches or 72 different strings that they randomly guess whatever the most prominent around the world is, and that's the cocktail they give you. That would be a modified, something that goes to market very, very quickly that doesn't require 8 years to do it, because if you did, by the time you did it, it's 8 years later and there's a new influenza flying around. That's my point.
It just said just over 7 million deaths worldwide.
7 million. So basically probably 3. So.
Yeah. I mean, I do know people who have died because they had COVID.
Oh, so do I.
There is a real concern there.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of the treatments they had for COVID were terrible. The ventilators was a terrible idea.
Oh, horrible. Yes.
Doctors now admit.
Yes.
I'm sorry.
Yes. No, go ahead. But suppressing your upper respiratory system with assisted breathing apparatus, but also giving them, hydrocodone and morphine, which suppresses the breathing quality of a human's natural state. These all depress the breathing systems. This isn't a good idea.
No.
Mel Lowe said something.
And I sat down.
Oh, go ahead.
I sat down with a friend of mine and had breakfast right when COVID was coming out. And I looked at him and I said, they're going to do this to trash the economy, because that's when the lockdown started, right? They're going to trash the economy with COVID because they didn't want Trump to have a good economy. And I'm sorry, I'm getting a brain fart. And then
you said they wanted to trash.
I'm sorry.
Trash Trump's economy.
And change the voting rules and regulations.
Now, Chuck, here's I'm not disagreeing with you from that aspect, but I'm going to say it a little. Do you mind if I say it a little bit differently?
Sure.
Okay. I don't believe that the government released COVID on the world. I don't believe they did the lockdowns to shut down the economy or to change the voting. I believe that they utilized COVID in order to do those things. They saw an opportunity to control the populace. They saw an opportunity to put emergency powers in place so they could change states' constitutional law and voting. This is why you couldn't get to the DMV and register. This is why, because it created mail-in ballots. Now, Chuck, how long have you been watching me?
2 years.
Okay, so you've heard this.
Over 2 years.
You've heard me break down the election, yeah? In 2020.
Yep.
And okay. So my point is that I believe that they used this crisis to gain control. I 100% agree with you. Do I believe that the Democrats released COVID or the Democrats did lockdowns and that was the plan all along? No, I don't believe that. I just believe they used the crisis like it's the same reason why they used 9/11, man, is to get the Patriot. They didn't create 9/11 and have 9/11 happen in order to get the Patriot Act. They created the Patriot Act because 9/11 happened and completely removed the individual rights of every single American. This is common practice for our government. It doesn't matter whether it's suspending habeas corpus. It doesn't matter means a rejection of Magna Carta. It doesn't matter whether it's Jim Crow laws, Japanese internment camps, the Great Society, Manifest Destiny, whatever it is. Whenever there is a crisis, whenever there is something that the government can take advantage of removing the power of the people, they will do it and have.
Yes, and they will kill their own citizens, right?
There's an acceptable, let me change the statement. There's an acceptable form of loss that the U.S. government is willing to take on its citizens. That's what I'll say. There is an acceptable form of loss that the government is willing to accept in the guise of progress. They don't see us as they don't see us as individual lives. They see us as tax revenue.
Yes.
This is why they're pushing.
And I would agree with you.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Don't you dare be sorry. I talk too much.
Well, I don't know. I think we're both excited about having an opportunity to speak.
Sure.
So
sure.
And I agree that Democrats weren't the culprits at hand. I think the UN was a culprit at hand. I think the WEF was clearly going to do anything to get Trump out of power, make sure he never gains power again, because they have, and this is my conspiracy, my conspiracy Chuck thing.
Yeah.
There's been a long effort to overthrow our cultural norm, our what makes us Americans, what makes this country work, because we are the defenders of other countries when they become overwhelmed. We also take other countries down. We also topple governments. But I think there's been a long effort for this. It goes back even before Obama, but I think Obama was right there in the middle of it. And Hillary Clinton was supposed to be the next president. And they were stunned as a MF that Trump won. And you can have George Soros or the guy just stepped down,
Schwab.
They both said that, Trump is not going to be president. And
the whole country, everybody said that. Everybody said that. Hell, well, I said it.
They're the people with the money. Yeah, but there's the people with the money who actually have the ability to do it. And Bill Gates is right there in the middle of it.
All right, so let's pause there. Let's wrap up your final thoughts so we can surmise this beautiful conversation. So I can get my wife. She's like, dude, I got to keep her motor purring, dude. And if it's not, then I'm not getting any tonight. So I gotta give her some.
I'm having great conversations.
All right, man. I'm done.
No,
but I'll wrap it up.
Go ahead.
This is where I see the forest through the trees, right?
Sure.
The trees in the front line don't confuse me about seeing what's deeper in the back.
Right.
And I think you can sit there and say, yeah, you can't draw a straight line from A to B.
You can't.
Damn it, if you look at that, all the pieces were in play. Everything worked for a purpose that they all wanted, UN, WEF, and yeah, I think we were played. I think COVID was a big play on the United States. And whether it was accidentally released or not, George Soros completely said that the U.S. will no longer be the superpower, that he wants China to be the superpower, and China wants to be the superpower across the world. So I don't see this as being outside of China's ability to release this onto the world.
Yeah.
That's my opinion.
So here's the only issue that I take place with that. And I have to go from a geopolitical standpoint on this, knowing the overall capabilities of the Chinese military. China doesn't want to take over the world when it comes to military might or to rule. They want economic superiority. And killing and spiraling the world's economy into a devastation. China took a very large hit because people weren't buying their goods. 40% of their U.S. market, we're talking billions upon billions of dollars quarterly, dried up like a popcorn fart. But not just that, but also the EU, the Middle East, Africa, and everywhere else around the world, which depends on cheap Chinese goods. China lost a shit ton. It doesn't work in China's best interest to release this because it hurts their number one initiative, which is to surpass financially and control the independent markets of the global economy. And by releasing this virus, it devastated it. The United States financially, this was a hiccup. Now, the trillions we spent, which deflated our dollar value, but inflated our overall cost, was obviously something that happened post-COVID, but that doesn't help China when they've got, $7.5 trillion purchased of our debt. The one thing you can understand about China is they've never invaded anybody. Japan has kicked the living shit out of China multiple times, but that's pretty much it. Then they got into it with India, Tibet, and Mongolians. But it comes down to that China militarily, if they wanted Europe, they would take Europe. Within 72 hours, they could blitzkrieg Europe. If China wanted Russia, China could take Russia. Because with North Korea, with a snap of their fingers, they would flatten Seoul, completely destroy South Korea. They would then take Taiwan. They would isolate Japan next, And then they would have Australia. And then they have the Chinese Sea, Sea of Japan, and about ready to take the Indian Ocean. If China did that, global expansion could absolutely be theirs, and the United States would be powerless to stop them. That is how large China's military is. There's two things stopping them. One, energy, and the billions of mouths to feed that they have to feed. And you can go ahead and kill your populace and destroy them, but that loses their standing in the global economy because they use those people for their food production. They use those people for cheap goods. Everyone thinks that China is our biggest enemy. China is its own worst enemy, and China is a threat on the global economy. And we have to be very careful that Iran, Russia, South Africa, and other countries don't join China to redefine trade, redefine imports and exports, and define what the global dollar is worth. If they do that, then we're fucked. So them releasing a giant virus is not indicative of what their MO would or should be. Did they use it to their advantage? Yes. Did they manipulate the situation? Yes. Were they the first to cure? Yes. And is there some sort of benefit from that? Yes, but the negatives were much worse than the positives. And China is still in a very, very volatile state from a financial capability. Their energy production is shit. They can't expand without it.
Yep.
And the United States has them by the balls. And nothing by releasing COVID helped them in that processes. It just made it worse. So I know a lot of people are like, well, I agree with Chuck. I know you agree with Chuck from an essence because what Chuck is saying makes a lot of sense and what we feel took place. But when you look at the facts, it's possible that what Chuck is saying is most assuredly true, and what I am saying is most assuredly true, but down the middle is probably the right answer. That's kind of my conclusion to the whole conversation. It's just that I believe I don't know everything. So when I say I believe, I'm speculating. But if we're talking about Autopin, I know. You know what I mean?
I have one question.
Yeah, what's up, baby?
Are you related to Mike Rowe at all? Just out of curiosity.
Me?
Yes.
No.
Your voice is very Mike Rowe-esque. It's got
Thank you.
that deep radio voice.
I had it since I was a little kid. My voice dropped early. I was the only kid in grade school who couldn't whisper because if I whispered, it was just blah, 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 blah in the background. I've been offered radio jobs several times, voiceover several times. It's just changing incomes to go to a different industry never really made sense because I always made more money doing what I did.
It's a good voice, man. It's
a good
voice.
I do plan on when I retire looking into that and getting into it.
You should. It's good. It's good money.
If you ever get your book published, babe, he could do your audiobook.
Hey man, people say I have they don't say I don't have the deep barrel voice of Chuck, but people do say I have a decent voice. Maybe thanks a lot for the insignificant, I have small peen syndrome now, Chucky.
You said you weren't looking forward to doing it anyway. So
no, I have no desire to read my own shit. So Chuck, great conversation and I'm really glad you called in.
Thank you, Matt.
Oh no, dude, I love this type of shit.
Everyone's loving it.
Yep.
Everyone's loving the conversations.
Yeah, we need to do this. Hey,
everybody has to donate. Yeah, everybody needs to donate now. We've got some donations to put in.
No shit, because we're a little short. Thanks a lot for ruining the night, Chuck. No, hey, when we hit on the 16th, man, you got to come out, have a couple cigars and a whiskey, and we'll continue the conversation. Because I can do that I can do all that all night, man. That's good stuff.
All right,
buddy.
You guys have a good evening.
All right, thanks.
Thanks, Chuck.
Chuck Peterson, everybody. Chuck is going to be, that's the longest conversation that we've had with Chuck. He's going to be the person matching donations on the 16th, by the way. Here is that video. And then we have a bunch of shit to cover. So if you're going to donate, do it now because holy crap. Okay.
What? What's up?
The Dumb Show, May 16th, 2025. 6 p.m. to 11 p.m. One goal, one night, one chance. Chris Peranto, Laura Logan, Roseanne Barr, Jason Shepard, T.S. Dixon, Damani Felder, Barry Morgenstein, Ryan Samuels, Lisa Regina. One night only. The race to 20K is on. Be part of it.
We can't wait to have you guys there.
I love that song.
Me too. May 16th. We're excited. Instead of CNN, Chuck can do This is the Dumb Show. Mel Lowe, thank you for my 7th birthday. Let's kill goal. Yes, everybody, let's kill goal. We're $105. Listen, we had a very expensive air conditioning issue. So if anyone's willing, we're ready to go. Let's rock and roll. Plus, we have our housekeepers and our entire event staff. Our sous chef is getting a little uppity.
Our butler is asking for a raise.
Sous chef wants a little more money, and we're going to have to take care of him. But who is Dixon? T.S. Dixon wrote this book.
Up there. Yeah, thank you, JD. Love Red Fridays. Appreciate it.
The Woke Mind Viruses. So this is T.S. Dixon. He wrote this book, and he was on the show a couple weeks ago. Become a good friend of the show. He's going to be on. He's amazing. He makes a great book. Chuck is a very good dude. I like Chuck a lot. He's smart. Would love to have a conversation with him. We're going to have to go rapid fire. Are we all caught up on donations?
We are now.
Stephanie Flaherty, $20. Thank you so much, Stephanie. Folks, for $65. I would love to start the weekend out right and just crush this damn thing. We need a big night. That would be awesome if you guys can help out. I think that was some pretty damn good conversation. Let's get to some topics that Olivia can sink her teeth into. Sorry, honey.
No, you're fine. It was a great conversation, and we've got an R3 update too. So
let's do the R3 update. Why don't you lead us through that? Why don't you tell us, and I'll put up pictures
and the video. Got to do the video.
And yep, I'll do the. Looks like Deborah Boggs just hit us.
Okay. I haven't seen it yet.
Okay.
Yes. Thank you, Ash. She's grunting and over here sleeping.
Oh, can I show them one thing first?
Yeah.
So.
Debbie Hensley.
What?
I would like to apply for your feet washing job. What is your fascination with feet, Debbie?
I don't know. I've got a foot fetish too. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh my goodness.
I've got an amazing, huge foot fetish. I've always, I don't know why. All right, here we go. Let's do this. And want to show you something that we want to just, since we're just gonna do whatever we want. Here is Hayden, who had to perform at school, and going to catch a little bit of her voice. Here it is. So she got to do that from the show Hades.
Epic.
Whatever. Who gives a shit? Same thing. And then she did this cup thingy. then I don't know how good I feel about putting this one on. It's a little close. All right. Talented little kid.
Yes, she is.
She is a shit burger. All right. So, Liv, walk us through it. What am I showing first?
Show the video.
Well, here's a picture. So tell them what this is.
So today was.
Well, you got to tell them who R3 is and give them a quick history.
All right. Thank you, Kevster. Happy 35th anniversary to the St. Vincent's. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. So R3 is our nephew. And a year and a half ago, they found he had testicular cancer. He went through a little bit of chemo. They took one of his testes out and he was good. Dear Christmas, it came back again, but it had spread to lymph nodes and his lungs and a couple other places. So he's been on an extremely rigorous treatment for chemo and radiation. And 2 weeks ago, he was officially in remission. And this week was his last treatment, and today was his last treatment. And his mom sent us this video and these pictures.
And we're very proud that he has joined the Aryan Nation and the California chapter of the Bakersfield Skinheads.
Oh, gosh, we have made our jokes. It's hilarious.
So here is the first video.
Get your Kleenex.
Good job, buddy. You did it.
Hey, Smitty. No more chips for me down here.
Hi.
Tell them those slippers are so gay.
I wonder if Megan's watching.
I'm sure she is. It's the gayest.
Unless they're celebrating tonight. It's so weird to hear him called Randy.
Yeah.
He's R3. I've
he
never known him
like,
he
sounds just like
else.
his dad. Sounds just like his dad.
But yeah, the nurses surprised him when he got there. They decorated his room with the red and yellow balloons, like firehouse, and it was really cool.
Megan has not grown an inch, but she also hasn't gotten any older. Still looking
the exact same.
Looking amazing.
Looks the exact same. Yeah, Megan, his mom, R3's mom, Megan, was Miss Bakersfield way back when. It was
and
like
one of my
years ago.
One of my first shows ever was me bagging on beauty pageants, and she's like, "Hey, what the?"
Oh, she's on.
Oh shit! Great. So yeah.
Thanks for making me cry tonight, Megan.
I love that kid. I love that family.
I'm so
I really
happy.
do. I wish we weren't estranged for as long as we were. I wish my mom wasn't such a giant freaking evil biznatch. Because I don't have any family. I got the Raymonds. That's it. Like, I don't talk to my brother. I don't talk to my sister, and that's by choice. But I love the Raymonds. They're great people. So, anyway,
yeah, give our 3 big hugs from us and from Hayden. She was very excited to see that.
Tell them to stop burning crosses. It's not acceptable. It's not acceptable. Yeah, I'm very excited. So well, you know what? I'm only going to do the really cool thing. 1776, Deborah Boggs. Always enjoy the show. Miss y'all on the weekend. I know I need to get a life. Well, there's some news might be coming about that. So don't fret. As soon as we do this big show and I get a little more room, I'm thinking we're going to work on some stuff. One of them being the Dumb Club, and we were supposed to do that in January. We just have not had a chance, but we're going to get that worked out and possibly doing a weekend show of some sort. Thinking about it. We've reintroduced the mornings. I haven't been writing a lot, so I've got to find a balance between writing on the dumb news and then doing the show. And I think what I'm going to do is when I do my videos, I'm just going to write an article based on the video, which kind of just makes sense since I've already kind of written the show. And some of those are just off the cuff, and some of those I'm reading off of. But all of it is I got to kind of figure it out. But I think there's an opportunity to be on more than we are, and there's enough hours in the days coming as soon as we get the new studio. All right, so want to show you this. I've been kind of hitting Candace Owens kind of hard. So
kind of deserves it, though.
Well, yeah, she's been an asshole.
It's not like we're doing it just to be mean. She deserves everything she's gotten lately.
Yeah, this is why does Instagram suck so bad? Like, why can't you make the video bigger? What the?
I don't know, but we can't post our live videos on Instagram because it only shows like half the show because it won't put it in the screen.
It's so stupid. I can't make this video bigger. I mean, how stupid is that? Let me see if I can do something here. Hold on. Because on my phone, I can't even do it. You can't even, it's just dumb. I hate Instagram. I really do. I hate it. It's like, I really hate it. Okay. You're going to have to, and I can't rewind the video. Why can't I rewind the video?
I know, that's the one thing about Instagram.
God, I hate Instagram. What a piece of shit.
Rewind it. You have to watch the whole thing.
All right. Well, I can't get, okay. You know what? This shit. X.
There you go.
Fuck you, Instagram. Gosh. It's got to be the Jews. You know, doing a Candace Owens video. They got to be holding us down. Candace, Howie, Hologram. Oh, you son of a motherless.
Amy Bordeaux, is it too soon to ask if the new studio will need a separate housekeeper? This is going to be an epic joke, isn't it? That's pretty funny. That's good.
That's good.
That's very good.
All right, let's see if this works.
I love our fans, man. They're awesome.
Oh yeah.
It's great.
This is actually a really interesting video. But of course she doesn't put it anywhere. Come on, Candace. All right, fuck it. I'm just gonna go back and you're gonna have to watch it. And you know what? I'll try to blow it up. So stupid. So dumb. Zuckerberg's such a yutz putz. Oh, I can blow it up. Okay, here we go. That's good. All right, so here it is. Watch this.
The Dumb
No,
Show.
not that. God, can we hit goal so we can go? I am just dying. All
It's
right.
Friday.
Whatever, you can be in your house.
I'm never leaving my house.
That's why he loves it.
No, I'm never leaving my house. Why do they need me to go to speeches?
You don't.
Why am I here? Why didn't I send hologram candidates here?
We have one in our
That's what
podcast.
we do.
People
So
being win.
you don't have to do speeches. So that's one. Let me show you another. Oh,
Can we capture her for 20 seconds and then?
Yeah, sure.
Record me.
Watch this. So what I
Biggie Smalls is here, so he actually didn't go to heaven. He's also here. He's just been trapping all of us. All of our souls are here, so please send help and reinforcements. He really trapped me in here. I've been trying to get out. I had no way out. Also, Biggie Smalls is here. It's really weird. I didn't know he's right here.
I gotta turn the volume up for you, though.
please. Howie, tell me about Candace Owens.
Candace Owens? She's a firecracker for sure. With her sharp tongue and controversial takes, she's like the human embodiment of a Twitter storm. But hey, you've got to respect the hustle.
What is happening?
She knows how to make headlines.
It's his voice.
Tell me about Candace Owens in Japanese.
Candace Owens ですか？彼女は確かに話題の人ですね。彼女の白い言葉遣いと無益を醸す意見で、まるで X 先ツイッターのアラのような存在です。でもね、彼女の活動には定義を表します。見出しを作るのがうまいんですから。
I've got more to say about you in Japanese.
I see a group of people standing around in a room. They're in a casual setting with some couches and chairs.
No.
Looks like a mix of curiosity and conversation happening.
Goodbye. Goodbye. No.
Artificial.
Oh my God! What is happening? What is happening here?
Yeah, I'm surprised she had a conversation with a Jew where she didn't try to throw him into a gas oven. I mean, Howie Mandel's Jewish. That's amazing. So they take a 5-10 second video of you and then ultimately have your voice, your mannerisms, everything they need to recreate an artificial intelligence version of you in 3D. Life is moving way too fast.
It's pretty cool.
I just want to let you guys know, like, manned space flight was like 112, or manned flight was like 112 years ago. It was what? 1909? Yeah.
The Wright brothers?
Yeah, 1909.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's 1909. Maybe 1907. The point is, the fact that we've come from that to this, it's pretty crazy.
It's amazing how fast technology has grown in a century compared to centuries before it. I mean, it was like it was like a snail just creeping along, and then all of a sudden, 100 years, we just jumped miles, and it's crazy how fast it grew.
It's completely, yeah.
I mean, considering that cell phones were not the norm when I was still in high school. I graduated in 1998, and
how did you send nudes?
It was your imagination.
Oh,
but
football players didn't ask for them, huh?
I didn't date the football players. I dated
I
the Cowboys.
I know you didn't date them.
No, I dated the Cowboys.
Oh,
that's
Cowboy.
And you know, I didn't date any guys from my high school.
I know,
because there were so few guys. I graduated with 97 people. They were all like my brothers. I was never going to date. I dated from surrounding schools.
Extremely fantastic, outgoing personalities.
Oh yeah.
Hi, would you like to go on a date? Yeah.
Yeah, not everyone's like my brother.
All right, so John Kennedy, Senator John Kennedy's moments. Did we hit goal?
Not yet.
Folks, we need some love. Okay? It's a little late, long in the tooth. It's 9:30. We gotta, I know. We're way over overtime. Help us out. Come on, let's get this thing. Let's get it. Here is John Kennedy, some funny moments. The guy's pretty hilarious. Here it is.
You hate cops just because they're cops? The next time you get in trouble, call a crackhead.
As I've said about her before, I think she's the reason there are directions on a shampoo bottle.
When you have hypothermia, you don't strip naked and run in the snow.
Right.
Senator Schumer never makes the same mistake twice. He makes it 5 or 6 times just to make sure he got it right. Clowns to the left of me, jokers to the right. Republicans aren't perfect, but the other side is crazy.
These people are about 10 exits past normal. The party is controlled right now by people who majored in online activism with a minor in puberty blockers.
They're screaming like Musk stole their dog or something. Just from a political standpoint, you never interfere with your enemy when he's kicking his own ass. They're worried that she doesn't. They're worried that she was that kid in grade school who ate paste. People are worried that if she walked by a polygraph machine, the dang thing would explode. He basically used the Democrats as a chew toy. If you think this list is real, you probably think that Elvis is alive and running a small bait stand on Lake Erie. My Democratic friends, Brian, seem determined to find out what it's like to be a Jets fan. It sounds like the game room of a mental hospital. They're so upset. That's like being opposed to children or prosperity or golden retrievers. Tariffs are like whiskey. A little whiskey under the right circumstances can be refreshing. Too much whiskey under the wrong circumstances, and you end up drunk as a goat. God created the world, but everything else is made in China. For some people, the best way to get back on your feet is to get off your ass. I'd tell them, look, you just got to try harder not to suck.
That's hilarious. He's great.
And for our liberal listeners, before we go to a quick commercial, because we've got to hit, stock market looking pretty damn good now that China and other countries are bringing in some deals.
436,000
that looks pretty good to me.
In the number of people who are employed. So this is an amazing report. The number of people, the labor force participation rate rose. So this is a really strong number. I wanted to mention one other quick thing. About 2 weeks ago, every headline, Wall Street Journal, New York Times, Washington Post, was, the stock market is crashing. And since then, the market has been up, like 2,800 points.
Yeah, you don't see that
by the way, I don't see headlines about that.
That was the point, that Scott Bessent made. Yeah, Scott Bessent made the same point yesterday. That,
exactly. He made that point.
Oh, my God, shut up.
436,000.
Yeah, once again, narrative fail. The economy, we're in a recession. Oh, well, if it's based on the stock market, we're pretty good. Seems like we're going to be okay. Kat, from your favorite. Thank you, Miss Alkire. You are the best. Well, I couldn't spend too long being nice to Candace Owens because, honestly, I was really nice to Howie Mandel because he created that. Awesome. Leave it to a Jew to find a way to make money on replicating themselves. That's what I expected Candace Owens to say, but she didn't say it. So, Candace, she's horrible. She's just horrible.
Yes, she is.
And I'm going to show you, hey, mellow, no witty comment made.
I said that because she didn't say it. She didn't leave anything in the comments. She always leaves a witty comment. She didn't.
Thank you for hitting goal, folks. We do appreciate it. Mucho. This is going to keep our housekeeper very happy. We appreciate you doing that. My personal ball washer thanks you as well. In fact, she's under the table right now. Good job. Juanita, muy bien.
I thought her name was Ash.
That's disgusting. That's gross. How dare you say that about my favorite person in this house? I'm going to show you the difference between the woke left and the woke right, and this should scare you. This should scare you, and I've been making these statements that there is a woke right in our party, and this should bother you a lot. And if it doesn't, you're not paying attention. Listen.
I now understand racism as a system, as a deeply embedded system, a system that our country was founded on.
Sigmund Freud was the kingdom of Galicia. His family's from, he's a Galician Jew. And they come over to America. And kind of the story that we're told is, everyone just came with the clothes in their back and then made it big in Hollywood or made it big in modern psychology. And I'm like, no, America was a young country. We were very susceptible to all of these things.
And every institution reinforces this system.
Frankists were behind the French Revolution. The Frankists were behind the Russian Revolution. Okay, it was the Frankists and believed in this, who orchestrated wanting to bring down Christian empires. and it is the Frankists who are bringing down America.
Refusing to grapple with how race shapes virtually everything is what keeps us divided.
I think this is the reason why we don't get to open the Epstein files, you don't get to open the JFK files. Other countries too. You investigate anything. I mean, I'm investigating Brigitte Macron, and Israeli blackmail comes up in Morocco. Also the MAGA movement. It sort of feels like they're doing the bare minimum for Americans and what we actually put them in office for, and then doing the absolute maximum for like Bibi Netanyahu's entire agenda. Once again, we're left feeling like this is just a slave colony.
And these white employees took great umbrage at having to have diversity training. And they were incredibly hostile, incredibly resistant, right? It's so scripted, right? It's so predictable what they're going to say and how they're going to respond.
I cannot stand the people that sound like bots, the spineless cowards, and I'm calling out all of you men. Everybody who has a check mark and also has a penis and has not said anything about Israel protecting pedophiles or has said the statement like, our friend and ally.
I've had people tell me, well, the term itself is offensive, and which is perfect. It's classic white fragility, right? To name whiteness, right, is really problematic for a lot of people.
Every person who speaks about Israel has to basically say a statement that's like, I don't want to get killed. like literally, you start speaking about it, people are like, Candace, beef up your security. That's not fucking normal. Excuse my language, but that is not normal.
Oh, that was really freaking loud.
There's not much I can do about it. I didn't know it was on there. The whole point is, Maddie Howenitz, I will suffer without my pot pie dinner to help reach goal sacrifices. Thank you, Maddie. Hollinitz?
Howenitz, sorry.
I know it's Howie. I was just like...
Sorry.
So...
didn't mean to.
Sorry,
Maddie.
Do you guys see the parallels? Change the topic. Take out white fragility and take out Zionistic Jewish populism and just remove the topic, but listen to the language. Tell me that's not identical. The woke right is just as bad as the woke left. I'll tell you what happened to her. She had a baby and she didn't get psychotherapy. So Deborah doesn't feel left out. Thank you, Kev. So essentially, I thought it was disrespectful too, Maddie. We really care about you. I care about your last name. I think she's anti-Semitic. She didn't like Howie Mandel, so she called you Hollinitz. She wanted to make you a Norwegian by calling you Holland.
I'm going to start giving you new nicknames every time you donate now.
It really surprises me that you guys haven't seen Candace like that since I've been telling you for a year she hates Jews. And she does. And Ben broke her. And the baby broke her. And she needs an intervention. Somebody needs to help this woman. It doesn't mean you can't speak bad about Israel. It doesn't mean you can't talk bad about Benjamin Netanyahu. But literally, when everything you do, you wake up in the morning and your water heater broke and you're like, fucking Jews, there's a problem. Like, that's a problem, right? I mean, even though they did get your water heater, you shouldn't call them out, bless you. So that's her. Everything's about the Jews. It's always the Jews. She has a lot of problems. And I will tell you that when women have children, and postpartum depression is a very serious thing. And it's hard to deal with. And if it goes undiagnosed and you don't get the help, it sticks with you.
It certainly does.
And I just thought I would continue to show you while you're listening to a piece
another
of
government
shit.
Say ours.
And I'm going to go ahead and let you know that Tucker Carlson,
Yes, Israel
I've
cannot
also
exist.
told you for over a year that Tucker Carlson feels the same way.
Tucker Carlson's gone off the deep end since Fox fired him.
I know this isn't popular. I know people don't like to hear this.
Fox, excuse me.
Sorry. I know this isn't popular. I know people don't want to hear this. I know people like Tucker and they like Candace. And I'm not telling you not to like Tucker. I'm not telling you not to like Candace. What I'm trying to do is offer you some perspective. Now, I just made a Jew joke. So somebody could clip that and make me sound like that I'm anti-Semitic. And honestly, I could give a shit because I probably am a little bit. But I'm also equally racist, sexist, homophobic, xenophobic, transphobic to everyone equally. I'm Anglophobic. I just don't like people. That's my problem. So, Tucker, does he say that the Israel and the Jews don't have a right to exist? Is that what I'm hearing? You guys tell me. Listen.
If you can't exist without being propped up by another government, say ours, you shouldn't exist. Yeah. Israel cannot exist without being propped up by the United States.
You think so?
Its nuclear program came from the United States. Its weapons come from the United States. Its economy is supported by the United States. I'm not attacking Israel. I'm just saying, in point of fact, I think that's true. And I mean, Israel thinks it's true, or they wouldn't have armies of lobbyists and influencers in the United States. Bibi wouldn't have shown up twice in the past 3 months.
Yeah. I mean, the way, from my perspective, it seems like they can handle themselves quite fine.
Well, I don't know. For 3,149 years, Jesuits in Judea seemed to do okay without the United States, considering it wasn't fucking there. The United States wasn't even a pimple on Israel's ass. Now, if you want to go ahead and say that Israel was established in 1940, 1938 to 1940, well, that's a completely different conversation. If you just believe that the world started at that time.
Mr. Carlson needs to lay off the Twinkies. I think he's been doing some serious closet binge eating.
My point is, sorry, if I'm angry. I'm angry that Matt Walsh, and I'm going to say it, is too much of a coward to challenge Tucker Carlson on his turf.
That was Matt Walsh?
Yeah.
Oh.
And I love
didn't know
Matt.
that.
I think Matt is extremely smart, and I love him. But why can't you say, wait a second, the United States has been established for how many years? And how many years has Israel been in existence? From the days of Judea and Mesopotamia to the Israelites? How long? How about the Sumerians? How long have they been there? The Philistines? What are you talking about? Now, if you want to talk about like modernistic times with modern warfare, do you really believe that the Jews haven't been kicking ass? I mean, don't you guys sit there and line up and say that they blew up the USS Liberty, one of our naval vessels? The Jews have no problem defending themselves. The issue is that there is a war that is run by proxy from 9 different Islamic extremist groups, and they are surrounded. And they are attacked by cowards. You know, there's a really interesting conversation that Nick Freitas had today, and I wish I could find it. But he's like, let's say you're walking down the street and somebody in a window in a building that you're walking down, and you're trying to hit these sectors and check off these buildings as friendly. And somebody opens up with an AK, Kalashnikov, and starts firing on your position. Do you return fire? So Liv, you're walking down with your buddy and you guys, a 2-man fire team, and you're checking off buildings, making sure that they're friendly so you can bring a convoy through, and all of a sudden somebody opens up with an AK-47 on firing on your position. Do you return fire?
Yes, I would think so.
Now it's an 8-year-old in there. Now do you do it because it's a kid?
Yes, if he's firing at me.
Okay, now it's a 32-year-old Islamic terrorist, but inside there is a woman with a 6-month-old baby and a 3-year-old. Do you return fire? Did you hear what I said? Just
you're
answer the question.
You're going to have to repeat
There
the
is an
phrase.
Islamic terrorist, 36 years old, firing at you with a Kalashnikov rifle, and inside that room is a woman with a 6-month-old baby and a 3-year-old. Do you return fire? Yes, you fire. You fire. Because it's not your responsibility to somehow, with clairvoyance, predict what's in that room to secure it. Your job is to secure that room. And your life depends on it. And if you're sitting there saying, oh, I can't return fire, the rules of war say that I can't hurt anybody. If you have to clarify every strike, every bullet, every missile, every shell, and justify its intent, you will never win this war, because that's what we did in Vietnam, and look what happened. What did she say? I will give Olivia credit. She nailed the pronunciation from day one.
Everyone's arguing about how to pronounce his last name, and everyone's been pronouncing it wrong.
What is it?
It's Howanitz.
I've always said Howanitz.
No, but everyone was like, wait, isn't there another Matt H? Isn't there another Matt this?
What the fuck, Matt? Why are you giving her credit? I've known you longer than her. I've always said Howanitz. It's ridiculous.
You weren't involved in the conversation, that's why.
I know. My point is this, is that you clear the room. Other Matt H, they nailed my last name first time too.
That's the joke. People thought he was a different.
I get everybody's. The only person I couldn't do was Dodie, and it's Dowdy.
And Lois.
Well, that's dyslexia. There's nothing I can do about that. That's a learning disability. There's nothing. It's never on purpose.
I'm great with names.
I don't see the E. I'm great with last names. I'm a hockey guy. I'm good, but the E drops off for me. It does. So it just does.
I'm good with name
pronunciation. Yeah, okay. You're okay. All right. Anyway, geez, this show. What else? Do I have anything else? Do I have anything? I have so much.
What was it?
I have so much. I want to show you this mom, and in Rochester, and her name is Shiloh Hendricks. She was recorded saying the N-word over and over and over and over. Matt, you were spot on. I was just being respectful. Giving my wife credit, not giving it to me is not respectful. It's chauvinist, you dick.
Oh,
I know. I know it's Dodie, but I used to say Dowdy and Dottie. And D-O-D-I-E does not sound like Dodie. It sounds like Dottie. And it reads like Dottie.
But that would mean 2 Ds, not one.
No, that'd be Duty. Pootie. Pootie Tang. Whoosh. Okay.
No, it's always.
Shut up, Liv. I don't care. I don't care.
Okay.
Don't care. We're done with this conversation. I want to go.
It's because I'm right.
Yeah, I very openly admit it. So allegedly, a black child stole something out of her 18-month-old son's diaper bag. She has raised over $350,000. She created a GoFundMe. It says, help protect my family, because they doxed her. And people have given her $750,000.
Because she said the N-word over and over and over again. And
well, let me show you the video. And folks, I am not going to be able, I'm not going to be able to bleep this. This is going to use a very foul word that I don't agree with. I'm not going to bleep it out. So if this bothers you, or if you have it on, you have kids around, please take it off speaker now. But I think it's important to hear this, because I've got a take on this, and I don't know what it is. I think I'm going to decide by the time I watch the end of this, but I want your reaction. And once again, this is very foul language. If the N-word bothers you, please turn it off.
You call him a nigger, the child? Did you call the child the nigger word? It is my own business. You call him a nigger? Okay, why don't you have the boss to say it right now again? Okay. All right, that's what you say. Nobody digging into your shit. That little kid, you call him a nigger? The little child? You call him a nigger, the child? Are you about to hit him? You chase him here?
My son stopped.
So that gives you the right to call the child, 5-year-old, a nigger, the N-word. That's what you're going to call him. You know, that's a hate speech. And you can be recorded for that. Huh. Okay, we'll see about that, what the internet has to say about you. You call him a...
All right. Let's have the conversation. Is it appropriate to use that word to describe a black person?
No. And she's absolutely in the wrong.
Sure.
That little kid, yeah, he's in the wrong too, but he's 5. And there's better ways to handle this. I'm at the park almost every single day.
Yes.
And there's much better ways to handle this. She's a great example for her kid and every other kid around there.
Right. She's just instilling the word.
Oh, yeah.
And the guy recording is just as bad.
Oh, yeah.
Because whatever damage she did by saying it once, you just did as much by saying it 47
Exactly.
times.
You should have said the N-word and not actually said it out. I mean, there are kids out there who are little shits. Seriously, I've run into several. There was one last week at the park that I was like, oh my God, this kid. I actually had to talk to her because she was getting in the way of my kids. So I had to step in. But no, I was like, honey, sweetie, I'm like, can you please not do that? And I was very nice and very kind.
Right.
But under my breath, I'm like, what a fucking shit she is under my breath. She can't hear it. No one else can, but that's what I'm thinking.
So let's be clear. Calling a 5-year-old child anything other than their parents, you're an idiot.
Mm-hmm.
Calling the child at all, get a hold of the parents. Number 1. Call the police.
Yep. If the parents aren't there, call the police.
She did say it because she said it again. You heard her in the video multiple times.
Yes.
But they're both wrong and they're both idiots. You shouldn't call a child and drop the N-bomb. But once again, there is freedom of speech in this country, and there is no such thing as hate speech. This is the dumbest fucking thing ever. There's speech you don't like, and anything you don't like, you call hate. Should you use the N-word? No. Do I think it's acceptable? No.
That black people use it on the daily. I know it's different, but still.
It's not different. When black people call me a cracker, listen, I'm not going to lie. I'm just going to be completely honest. I had a person call me a cracker, and I dropped the N-bomb right on him. You want to play that game with me? I'll use the word. I got no problem using. If you're going to call me a cracker, which is just as insulting as what you just called me, a cracker, it doesn't mean I'm a saltine cracker. A cracker means that it is the crack of a whip of a slave master. Go fuck yourself. You want to feel like a slave? Well, here's a word for you. You won't like it. But I don't have a problem with fire versus fire. But I would never, ever use that as a derogatory term to somebody, ever. It's just, it's not in my vocabulary. I never would. I'm not going to call someone any slur, even though I make jokes on the show. You shouldn't be influencing children like that. Shouldn't be stalking a woman with your phone. You shouldn't be engaging with him and flipping off him with your kid right there and dropping the N-bomb too. They're all stupid.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that people are getting $350,000 for this. And we put on this wholesome show that is so important. And we can't even get 0.1% of what that hooker got. Maybe we should start dropping some N-bombs. Matt Hollandaise, $10.80, just giving the respect you deserve. Matt, your appreciation.
That was the new name. I told him that. He goes, I'm not a sauce. I'm like, oh, that's your new nickname. That's your new name.
The kid stole something.
I love the fact that I can control the donations.
Oh, yeah. Matt, your appreciation for being correct is incoming. Thank you. $10.80. I think Olivia got a little more. Right? Is that right? It comes down to this. This is why people get shot. And I'm not saying it's okay for that child to steal something out of your diaper bag. But it's equally not okay for you to drop an N-bomb on a 5-year-old. You know? You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I think there's levels of wrong here, and everyone is wrong.
The woman in the video got the GoFundMe, right? Got the money?
Yeah, the woman, she got raised $350,000 because she said my life's in danger and people are doxing me. I don't agree with that either. But maybe you shouldn't be so fucking ignorant to call a 5-year-old baby the N-word. Seriously. I mean, how stupid are you? He's got a camera. I don't know.
Everyone's got cameras nowadays.
Well, then don't say it.
Exactly.
And it's not that you can't say it, just you're going to have to deal with the consequence, right?
God, and little kids are just little kids.
He's a 5-year-old kid. You know what I'm saying?
He probably doesn't. No, I'm not going to say it.
No, but everybody's like, well, they use it. You know what? I think they earn the right. Pretty confident that African Americans earn the right to call themselves whatever the fuck they want. And white people can just worry about it. We talk to other white people like fag, playing video games and stuff, right? I mean, we degrade each other all the time. If we could just stop worrying about what everyone else does and worry about what we do, we would be so much better off as a people. But we make excuses. Oh, well, black people do it, so we can do it too. No, you can't. In a civilized society, there's just some things you don't do. There's some things you don't say. You don't call a woman a see you next Tuesday, but you can call a man a see you next Tuesday, and I've done it. Hell, I think I've called a woman a see you next Tuesday one time on this show. That's not right. It's not appropriate. I shouldn't do that. I shouldn't cuss. I shouldn't have made the Jew reference about Howie Mandel, but I protect the Jews so much here, I can get away with one once in a while, can't I? But that's different. It's humor. And we're making a joke. That wasn't a joke. That is a hateful, evil thing to say to a little baby. He's a baby. He's not a boy. He's not a man. He's not a young man. He's a baby. He's 5 years old. That child has to go and now say, Mom, Dad, it finally happened. You warned me about it since I was this high, and that somebody was going to say this word to me. Well, somebody said it today. That word carries heavy meaning. And there's a definite difference between a hard R and a soft A.
Here's the other thing for that woman. If you're in a park where you don't know the park very well and there's complete strangers, don't put your backpack or your diaper bag down and walk away from it. Make sure you can see it at all times. Or better yet, don't bring it into the park.
I'm having my Benny. Hey, y'all, it's Benny. She shouldn't have something stolen from her bag. She shouldn't have to alter what she... The whole thing is it's unfair on all sides and they're all wrong. They're all wrong. And listen, what is it really truly in your diaper bag that you need? Did he take some wipes? Did he take a rattler? Did he take a binky? Listen, he's black. He's probably on welfare. He can't afford it. Give it to him.
I was going to say joke and I stopped myself.
See, I did it because I'm not afraid to do it.
I wasn't going to go with the welfare joke.
You can't do it now because now it'll seem hateful. You don't know how to temper yourself. You're like, you called somebody a struck. You called a black person a struck match.
I wasn't going to say
You're
that.
a bigot. You're evil with your shit.
Do you want me to tell you what I was
No, I
gonna
don't
say?
because when you say it, we get banned. You're like, I make funny jokes. You're just vile. You just hate black people.
I'm not vile.
You can say your joke. Go ahead. I don't know. Go ahead.
I'll tell you after the show.
I already know it's going to be completely inappropriate and racist. Completely.
Well, it's not like what you said wasn't.
Mel Lowe says the guy on the video was. I know the guy on the video wasn't, but the kid was. I think the kid was black.
He was because he was sitting on. You saw him. The guy panned to him, and he was on the playground area.
Oh yeah, you saw him. What do you mean you saw him? What do you mean? Did he stand out against the blue sky? You racist. Did he have a spear? God. Was he eating chicken and watermelon?
Oh my God.
So racist. Where's your hood? The most racist Mexican I've ever met. Okay. Last thing, then we're gonna go. It's 10 o'clock. We gotta go. Benny sounds drunk. No, Benny's just he's a Chicken Little, you know? Karen says, I actually don't think derogatory words. That's why I think Karen's picture is so pretty. She's Mexican. But I agree they should not use that language. How old is that picture, Karen? Is that like 1926 or 1970 or 1990 or glamour shots or what is it? I don't know. It's just you look like somebody. Oh, you look like Karen Carpenter a little bit, but not the anorexic. Like if Karen Carpenter actually had some weight to her, decent weight, healthy weight. I'm not saying like weight. Oh, fuck. I'm just burying myself. If Karen Carpenter wasn't a size -4 and was like a size 4 or 6, there it is. They sounded more East Indian. Well, he did, but the kid behind was way over to the side. It doesn't matter. The proper term is sand blanker, not just blanker. Okay? Albuquerque, New Mexico. Oh, God, I'm so glad we're out of there. No, Liv. Liv, look at this.
I'm coming.
Albuquerque, New Mexico. Not yet. Albuquerque, New Mexico. Look at this. Oh my God, Liv, look. You see that?
Kinda?
You know what that is?
No.
Well, it looks like blue meth, right?
Is it fentanyl?
It's fentanyl.
Holy shit.
And look at the stacks of money.
Oh my God.
Oh, that's not even remotely it. Watch this. Look at all the guns.
Gee. So happy my nieces are being
Look at that. Look at all that meth.
Oh my God.
And fentanyl. Is that crazy? All in New Mexico.
Doesn't surprise me in the least.
And the agent sees, listen to this, 4 million fentanyl pills.
Jeez.
4 million. We can't even break $400. Look at this. Albuquerque to Denver and as far south as Salem, Oregon. It's far north. Sorry, not south.
I was going to say, wait a second.
Wait a second. Something happened. The fentanyl float, so many people are going down on each other, particularly guys. They've moved to the south. Flowed in 2024 as agents from the U.S. Drug Enforcement Administration tracked what is being described as one of the largest fentanyl trafficking organizations in history.
I have no idea what you just said. I may be on.
Big organization. Investigation became public Monday after a coordinated DEA takedown of the location: New Mexico, Arizona, Nevada, Utah, and Oregon. Sounds like all the places I've worked. In which agents recovered more than 4 million fentanyl pills, more than 4.4 million in cash, 79 pounds of methamphetamine, along with heroin, cocaine, and more than 41 weapons, including a federal records filed in U.S. District Court in Albuquerque. The alleged leader of the organization, Herberto Salazar Amaya, was picked up in Portland, Oregon, and at least 5 other defendants are being held in Albuquerque, where a grand jury issued a 12-count indictment against a total of 14 defendants. Charges include conspiracy, possession with intent to distribute, and unlawful employment of an illegal alien. Democrats were immediately there to be seen with photographs with these people, saying that they were just good Oregon, New Mexico, Arizona, Colorado, and Utah men. I'm just kidding. That part I made up. Defendants ran a continuing criminal enterprise they did across large swaths of the United States. That's big. That is a huge bust.
Uh-huh.
That's massive.
Yep.
Okay, I'm fading.
Yep. It's Friday.
I'm tired. Folks, we're going to go.
It was a late night. We stayed up, watched the game.
It's going to be a late night tonight.
And we got up early yesterday.
We got to go see what's going on with St. Louis. What's going on with St. Louis real quick?
Let's find out.
Let me know before we go. We are going to cover the Kilmar Abrego Garcia recording. I have his wife on tape calling in 911, describing how he's beating the shit out of her. And we also have the police video, which I posted earlier, where they say, oh yeah, this guy's a sex trafficker gang member. I mean, the cops arresting him are like, this guy is a complete sex trafficker. He's got $1,400 in cash in an envelope with him. The woman doesn't speak a lick of English. He's got tattoos all over. Yeah. So Pretty bad. What's the score?
5-1 St. Louis, second intermission.
Do I call this or what? Did I
Yep,
tell
it's
people?
going to go to a game 7.
Told people not to sleep on St. Louis.
Yeah, it's going to go to a game 7.
And honestly, Winnipeg's going to win at home, but you can't win in St. Louis. St. Louis is a great barn, and they play a very fast style. They've got great ice. They're fast. Winnipeg will probably win in 7. I don't want to see St. Louis. I have no desire. We got Dallas. Colorado Avalanche got to play Dallas. Melanie, have you watched the game? Did you watch the game last night? How exciting was that, huh? All right, folks. Thank you so much for all the donations. We are going to play our video one more time. May 16th, we have Roseanne Barr, Laura Logan, and some other special guests real quick, and then we're going to be right back with final words.
The Dumb Show, May 16th, 2025. 6 p.m. to 11 p.m. One goal, one night, one chance. Chris Barato,
One desire.
Laura Logan, Roseanne Barr, Jason Shepard, T.S. Dixon, Damani Felder, Barry Morgenstein, Ryan Samuels, Lisa Regina. One night only. The race to 20K is on. Be part of it.
I'm not going to lie. It's kind of hot. I'm just sitting there watching you. I'm just
video
waiting for
every
the
time.
poll, and just woo. Folks, thanks for watching the Don't Unfriend Me Show. Thank you for their donations. It's been a good night tonight. The 16th is going to be right around the corner. It's going to be here before we know it. We have 14 days. If you have not had a chance, I've got a link if you want. If you're like, hey, I want to go ahead and share the photos or the video or the audio, I have a pack included, a media kit, which you can actually take and put it on your own page, or you can just go to Facebook, right-click, or Twitter, or wherever else, right-click on the image and share it from there with your friends and family. I'm going to see if every viewer can bring 2 or 3 people. Invite your friends to this. Bring them here. We're going to do some advertising for this. This is going to go on Tonto's site. It's going to go on T.S. Dixon's and Roseanne's and Laura. It's hopefully going to be a big event. I don't imagine, I'm expecting if we have 200 people, I'm going to be shocked. I'm not expecting a massive event. But it would be awesome if we did. And the only way we're going to do that is with your help. So please share.
I know someone, and I feel horrible that I can't remember who it was, said that they have convinced their entire block to come and watch the show that night.
Wow.
So
that's cool. Block party.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but seriously, bring it. Everyone come. Everyone's welcome.
Bring 2 friends.
Get some questions, right?
Yes.
Send them into Olivia, because I will have my questions for people. This is going to be a fairly relaxed event, but we cannot wait to have you there. Remember, please stop by thedumbshow.com.
Are we dressing up for this event? I heard you, Leroy, talking the other day.
We are. I'm going to wear a jacket and tie. The Don't Unfriend Me show at thedumbshow.com. Go pick up a shirt, pick up a hat. We haven't really done a lot. Sales have been sucked on the site. So if you are looking for a shirt, you're looking for a hat, use code DUMB10, save 10%. What an endorsement. Wow, I'm a salesman. That's all I got. Liv, what about you?
Thank you to everyone that donated tonight, especially Matt Hollandaise.
Yeah, we love our hollandaise sauce.
Yes.
And then Amber Grounds, I'm really happy you came by and decided to go ahead and take a shit in my thread and then leave. It's great to have you. It's always wonderful for you to come in here and spread your goodwill and joy into our show.
And happy anniversary, St. Vincent's again.
And what's cool?
Happy birthday, Mel, on Sunday. We never sang happy birthday to her, did we?
No, that's why I was waiting for you to say.
We were going to do it, and then we got sidetracked.
No, we weren't. I'm not going to sing to her. She's Canadian. Oh, happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Mel. Happy birthday to you. It's what it's all about.
Happy birthday to you.
Are we going to sing?
I thought you just did. That was great.
No, we do it right.
Okay.
We can't do it like that. We just got to do a 1, a 2, a 1, 2, 3.
Where's Hayden when we need her?
Happy birthday. Happy birthday to you.
You sing it, Frank. Go get him, Frankie.
When the shark bites. 6:30, babe. Time to head for.
You're in choir. You get to sing happy birthday.
Golden light.
Yes, come on. You're singing with
us. It's a good time at a great place. Dinner at McDonald's. It's
he just walked
Mac
right back out of the room.
tonight.
Oh, goodness.
Okay, you ready?
Yes.
Count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Mel.
Our gay North Dakota
neighbor.
Up
Snow
north.
Mexican. One-armed bandit. One-eyed Willie. Happy birthday to you. That's what it's all about. Happy birthday, everybody.
And if you have a special birthday request that you would like to sing for, email me so we know.
Yeah, if you guys want nude pictures, go to Olivia's OnlyFans at onlyfans. Oh, hi.
I don't have an OnlyFans. I was telling him he's got to sing.
No, you don't have to sing. Come on, Ethan, you're good. You're good. Come say goodnight to everybody. Tell Mello.
Are you going?
Mello, happy birthday.
Good night. Happy birthday, Mel.
Say happy birthday or happy anniversary, Mama Judy.
Happy anniversary, Mama Judy.
Kid's going to break hearts. It's pathetic.
Look at him. He's like, oh, yeah, totally like that. That's totally.
You know, I don't understand what's wrong with people. I'm sitting around here getting
we're getting
stupid.
off right now. Just wait.
I eat breakfast 300,000 yards from 400,000 Cubans who are trained to kill me. So don't think you can come down here in that faggoty white uniform and make me nervous. Good night, buddy. Come on.
Thanks,
Dog wants to leave. Love you, buddy. All right, everybody. Thanks for watching. Leave, dude.
What did he say?
All right, good night. All right, good night, everybody. Happy birthday, Mel, Judy.
Night all.
Happy
Thank
anniversary.
you.
We'll see you guys on Monday night. It'll be myself, Olivia. Amy will not be on, so it'll just be us again. We'll have a good show. We'll try to stay on topic this time, and everyone have a wonderful. What?
JD Stillwell, Olivia's OF is this link? What?
OnlyFans.
Oh, I was like, what? I don't have an OnlyFans account.
Sure.
It's private. You're the only one that is allowed on it. So
I do have some pictures. I'm willing to sell them. I mean, we just got to have a better donation night than we had tonight. Like, I'm thinking, you know, like maybe if we don't hit the 10K on 16th, maybe I'll just release some pictures that she doesn't want everyone to see.
Yeah, that's not.
They're not that good.
No, they're not.
Yes, they are. I mean, they don't even exist. All right, everybody. God bless. Have a happy birthday, Mel. We love you guys. Good night. See ya.
Good night, y'all.
Bye.
Adjusting transmitter output.
This is the Don't Unfriend Me show with your hosts, Matt, Leroy, Amy, and Olivia. Geopolitics, military analysis, and election coverage. Coming to you live on all major social media channels at The Dumb Show. Honest, direct, unfiltered. We can agree, we can disagree. Just don't unfriend me.